What's up, people? Welcome back. Another episode of the O.O.C. Got my co-host over here on the side, Mr. Roberto.
What's
Got
going on,
Josh.
people?
Excellent. We got Josh here. He was here from last week. Had some good ideas, some different than us. So I figured we'd have him back on. And then what we have down here is Gaishkar. So my homeboy from back in the day. Poe asked about him last week, so he said he wanted to come on. So I said, all right, no problem. Come on to the show.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Do appreciate it. I mean, me and Josh are the only ones that really have a YouTube. Well, you're starting a YouTube channel, right, Gaishkar?
Well, I'm just like starting barely. Like I'm just basically getting things ready to just stream some gaming, some first place in COD, and maybe start something new. You influenced me, man. This is good.
I appreciate it. I influenced Mr. Roberto over here too. He'll tell you.
It's so funny how we linked up because I've been procrastinating on doing something like this for the longest time, and by accident, Onzo thought that I sent him something, and he's like, the question he asked me was like so out of space. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's like, my show. I'm like, what show? It's my YouTube show. I'm like, oh shit, you got a YouTube show? He's, yeah, man, and you want to be a guest? And I was like, hell yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Right, and in all honesty, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And I'll let everybody know that because you gotta let people know where you came from so you can get there.
Absolutely.
And I do appreciate that because if it wasn't for
respect to my youth.
No problem, because if it wasn't for Danny, I wouldn't be here either. So respect him for that.
It's always the first step, right?
Yeah, it comes around in a full circle. So he helped me out, and when you were like, you want to come on, and you want to do it, it's like, all right, no problem, let's do this shit.
Cool, man.
So
Gaskar, I'm glad that he was able to get you started your way, and I wish you a lot of luck, man.
Good, man. Well, it's in its infantile stage right now, but yeah.
It is until it isn't.
Exactly.
That's how it starts off, man. You know what I mean? Mine started off like that too. I was like, who the hell would want to watch me? You know what I mean? Like, that fuck. And then I watched Danny and him and Terrence would go at it, and I'd be in the chat typing, and I'd be like trying to get in the conversation in the chat. And I was just like, he's like, one day he's like, oh, he had an open channel. So I reached out and I was like, yo,
that's exactly what happened last week, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's way before Robert Storms.
That was before Robert's, yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I got on Robert because of Danny, because Danny was streaming with Robert way before that, right? So then one day he was like, hey, yeah, can Onzo come on the show? So I came on, and that's how it happened, man. We have a good chemistry together, me and those guys, and me and Roberto and everybody on this show have a good chemistry. LDG is in the chat. What up, LDG? He's a cool dude, too.
What up, LDG?
If you guys have any computer problems, you can link this guy and he will help you out with whatever you need for free. You know what I mean? Does it online for free. Take control of your PC, take out your viruses. If you're missing files or anything you need to get your StreamYards hooked up or whatever you need, he will definitely help you out,
Respect.
So, Josh, tell the people about your channel, man. What's up, Austin?
So my channel is Movie Aficionados, as well as, more importantly, my group on Facebook. We have 6,000 members in the group, and I'm starting to realize, like, I want to focus on that too, more so, like my group. We also have Gaming Aficionados, which I shared your PS5 controller thing, Onzo, that you were doing. Because, I appreciate it too, because I'm looking for content like that. Anybody who has like gaming stuff can go in Gaming Aficionados. If you're a content creator, man, go in there, put your stuff in there for free. Same thing with Movie Aficionados. If you do reviews, news, stuff like that, put your stuff in Movie Aficionados. So Movie Aficionados, Gaming Aficionados, and Guy Scar, when you get your gaming stuff up there, definitely put your stuff in there.
Cool, man. Appreciate that.
Definitely, and that's what it is, like a little community. We're all trying to help out each other. Roberto, we got to get your channel like really up and running, bro. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I like doing the streaming too. I really do, more than like making videos. But if you want your channel to build, you got to do videos.
So, and Onzo, man, like it's good content because not a lot of people, you're one of the few people that has a PS5, so it works out. It's kind of like a win-win where it's like, not really, where it's like, here's a guy who's showing you what the controller is really like. check it out, check out his stuff. So it's good content for the group. So it's
absolutely,
a win-win.
He can. It's like an unbiased comparison, so he can really tell you, like, measure exactly, the feel and everything. We were just talking that before we started the show, how he loves that remote, man. Like the best remote he's ever had.
Yeah, this remote here, this PS5 remote is really, it's really on point, man. You know what I mean? So definitely. And I will be having a PS5 and Xbox Series X review coming up soon. So look out for that. We'll send it to you. So guys, today, OCC off our chest. I just said, I didn't really have a main topic. I thought about doing like the Black Lives thing, but I'm like, that's kind of
some shit
news.
Just comes fresh.
You can still have it even if you have a white guy on the show, though.
No, it has nothing to do with you, bro. I'm just saying it's kind of old news. We'll probably maybe go into it at the end. We'll definitely try and keep this stream to 2 hours because last time it went a little bit long, but people were just watching. Yeah.
You know what? But you know what? If it happens like that, you can't just stop the flow.
Right.
So once in a while, we're gonna have shows like that, but that's not our goal to run 3-hour shows because we might run out of some content.
Absolutely. So right now, you know what I mean? Like I just said, if you guys had any topics you wanted to talk about, bring them up. Roberto said he had a topic, so I'm gonna let you get that shit off your chest first, brother.
Well, you see, I don't know if it's because of the situation that people. Well, I can honestly say it is because of the situation that people are very tense, people are very nervous. Things might be exaggerated, and you question it. Is it? Isn't it? So there's a lot of confusion shit going on. At least with myself, I can speak for. And now that I've been doing quite a bit of driving, I noticed that once in a while there would be the odd person in the fast lane driving slow, and they would realize and suddenly go in the middle lane and do the speed they want to do there. But as of late, 3, maybe 4 times a day, I encounter several people driving below the speed limit, almost like they're holding the highway hostage. So now, if the guy in the fast lane is barely doing 100, the guy in the middle lane is doing 90, the guy in the slow lane is doing 85, what happens there?
There's a crash.
So the guy behind me is beeping because I'm in my truck. He can't see the 6 cars in front of me that are slowing up traffic. And I'm talking from, we're all Canadian here, so they know we're Montrealers, from the circle by Décarie almost to the Côte Vertu exit going on the 40 West. I was doing 75 kilometers in the fast lane. Now, maybe because it didn't happen to me often in the past, I never got really hyped about it, but I was fucking livid. And, sometimes when you lose it, you say things that you're glad you're alone. Because in these days, man, I hit the top 10 of every hate list.
No, but
the shit that came out of my mouth.
Going back to what you said, though, because of the situation, right? A lot of people, all they're doing is going to work and home, work and home, work and home. So there's no rush, right? So do they want, what else are they going to go?
But this is not like 8 in the morning and 5 at night.
Okay.
This is 11:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So I'm saying, is it only me? Is it only me? So now I'm driving with my wife on Saturday. We're going down to Villamard. We take the exit on Sherbrooke. We get by the Esso in the Kentucky, the infamous corner. I'm sure all you guys know that corner.
Yeah.
Where the Kentucky Fried Chicken is. Sorry, Josh. That's the hood, yo.
I mean, I know we have Kentucky Fried Chicken here, but I don't know.
No, but this is like the hood, right?
BFK over here.
This guy comes out of the Esso, doesn't even look at eastbound traffic going on Sherbrooke, drives right across, doesn't see this fucking 40-foot truck coming, cuts right in front of him and goes about his business without even flinching to look left or right. And I go, alive. You see, babe? You see? Wow. You see what's going on? I am not going nuts. I didn't even beat my horn. My mouth was open. I was in complete shock that this guy's driving an Audi Q5 without a scratch on it. That was not possible. Like, I don't know.
I can tell you right now, I have a buddy of mine that's on the chat, F30 AMN. He's a major driver, man. He drives his Beamer like we were talking about cars before, right, Anzo? And this guy, man, he would be Roberto. He would be right next to you, screaming from the top of his lungs too.
Yeah, because he agreeing with you. I'm always yelling at those going limit or slower in the left lane.
Exactly.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, I just go to the right
no
lane.
sense.
If I'm gonna go slow, if I'm fucking around with something like whatever, my soda or the radio station, it's like, let me just get into the right lane really quick and go super slow,
But could this guy or could these people get a ticket? Because now, if I'm doing the maximum, let's just say it's 100, and you're slowing me down. If I try and pass you in either of those other two lanes, I'm getting a ticket now because you're not allowed to pass in those lanes.
That's right.
So why can't this MF get a ticket for causing all this traffic? That's what irks me, yo.
I'm gonna look up 100 kilometers in reference to miles per hour. I'm just gonna look it up.
Oh, sorry, Josh. I forget you.
Americans, I know. It's the same thing.
Metric system, man. Metric system.
You said you're doing 100. I'm like, oh fuck, you're doing 100. I'm trying to be Vin Diesel over there.
Canadians, man, they're crazy.
Canada. I'm the Canadian
What is your
version.
soda? Is your soda not 2-liter bottles of soda? Or fucking
but the ones we keep in the fridge, not in the cup holder of our car.
You see,
with the special bottom, right? So
you know what I mean?
What you guys don't know is when you talk about Fast and Furious, this guy over here was the original Fast and Furious. I can tell you that, man. Right? Tell them the car you had your baby.
Oh, it was a 5-liter.
Yeah.
You know that car. I don't know, man. I don't know if Josh would know, but. You ever see the movie Christine?
Oh yeah.
Well, that was Christine for me. Me and this car were one. If people challenged me, the car made sure to not let those cars win. It was like, and I never really stopped to think who was in the car with me a lot of times. So these guys have stories. Even my nephew, who was 5 years old, he could tell you a story that he remembers to this day, and he's almost 30.
I think the one I remember is I think we were coming from Bubba's house, man. And it was me, your brother, and someone else in the car, maybe Hector. And you started racing this guy and took this corner. And we were just like, whoa, like, yo, that one.
G-force.
And the Plaza Cotonage with the ice. The way you caught that car back, bro. Oh, man, he went on some black ice, and that car just started to spin out, and he caught it, boom, right away. And I was like, yeah, okay. I always felt safe driving with this guy.
It's like one of those moments. Go ahead, Josh, sorry.
Do you guys have snow tires up there, like the snow chains for your tires?
Mandatory.
Well,
no chains.
The chains are illegal.
Okay, not the chains.
You can have studded
yeah,
wheels.
those spikes that I think do more damage than anything if there's no snow on the ground.
So it's not like Colorado. Colorado, they have that, the chains.
No.
Oh, really?
But you guys ain't used to snow. You come here and you guys will know what it's like.
Yeah, we have our snow. I'm in New York, so we have our snow, but it's
New York has the best winters ever.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, man, we go there in like January. These guys are playing ball outside in shorts. I'm like, what? How is that possible? We're not that far away from you, man. We're fucking freezing up in Montreal.
Freezing.
Boogers frozen off your face.
Even Toronto doesn't get as much snow as us, though.
No.
They get cold.
Yeah.
They do get cold, but they don't get as much snow. I think we get them like the most snow.
No. The Maritimes get
the most Maritimes
snow.
Definitely.
Oh, Halifax got 130 centimeters.
What was it, 4 years ago?
Yeah, 130 centimeters. I don't think we ever heard that.
Insane.
Maybe in the 70s when we had that snowfall where I went to leave my building and where did the world go? It was just fucking snow, man.
I remember on Barclay, man, when it would snow like that.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't see the cars parked on the street.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Danny and them the other day. Like your cars were piled up in snow, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
we had a tunnel coming out of our building, a snow tunnel, and then you see the street. That's how much snow. We were considering jumping off the third balcony
Yeah.
That snow.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were worried that we would go so deep. Who's gonna find us?
Yeah. We used to jump off these high balconies.
Not
and
the
shit.
third. We did the second, but not the third.
Yeah.
I never did the
I
third
did-
either.
That's
Dude,
suicide,
man,
man.
Anzo, I think we jumped the second with what was it with Junior and Travis, man.
Yeah,
back
we
in the
jumped
day,
the
man. It
second.
was
We jumped the second
insane,
many
man.
times.
And
We
that's
jumped.
Quebec and Ontario. I'm seeing that's where you guys are between, respectively. I'm looking at some of these other ones, man. What if you live in like Manitoba? What is this? Nunavut?
None of us.
None
You
of us.
crazy?
Nunavut?
Are you
Does
There's
anybody
snow
live
there,
there?
but
Do
it's just
people live
cold.
there?
The population's like 7.
Yeah, people live there.
But Alaska's
And those
all the
guys
way
are
up here, too.
scientists, man.
Oh, okay. And Alaska's all the way up here too. It's just like polar bears and shit like that. So I don't
You
know.
know what
Maybe
kills me? Not that we're gonna pick on you, Josh, that you're the only American. But why? Like you
okay.
guys have a lot of Canadians coming over there that don't look like they lived in igloos, and those Canadian concepts that you guys have of us. That
No,
We live
we're
in
all
igloos.
Eskimos and
Yeah.
igloos,
No.
and
No,
we all
no.
slide
I mean,
on
Alaska,
snow.
they are. No, I watched Trailer Park Boys, man. Trailer Park
You
Boys
see?
is one of my favorite shows, man.
Wow.
We're not like that,
That's the
though, man.
reference. Trailer
We're
Park.
not
Scotia.
like that.
No, the
Wow.
Scotia, bud.
Like that.
Let's go to the Tim Hortons, bud, and get a couple of shells, now.
We're not like that.
I do want to go to Tim
Wow.
Hortons one day, though.
With
Just
our
like
money.
you guys have the West and the Northwest, Northeast. They're all different kind of characters, right?
Mhm.
Sure. Vancouver, that's not too cold though, is it? Up there?
No.
No, it just rains a lot. When
Rains
you're
a
on
lot,
the
Rains,
coast,
okay.
it rains a lot. But when you're on the other side of the Rocky Mountains, there's where you get all the snow and
It's
the
like
cold.
Seattle,
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Calgary, Alberta, Saskatchewan. Those are flatlands, so
Mhm.
surrounded by mountains. So these guys get all kinds of fucked up weather, like -50.
That's where we build the igloos to protect ourselves from the polar bears and the flying hockey pucks.
That's where you guys get your reference from.
Yeah.
But if you go a little more east, you'll see we're civilized. We speak 2 languages.
I know, man. I know Drizzy and the Weekend, man. They're representing for you guys.
Oh yeah, right.
Because when I was in Philly, these guys were referring to me as Canada, not even Quebec or Montreal. Yo, Canada, what's up? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's all we got? We're just a country.
It is.
We have no provinces.
No, it
I'm
is.
going to call you USA.
But
It
what's
is because
crazy?
sometimes when you talk to Americans, right, and you say, "Yeah, I'm from Montreal," they say, "Where?" And then you say Canada, and they're like, "Oh, you're from Canada."
I know Montreal. I mean, come on. I know Toronto. I know BC. I know some of these. Some of these I don't know though. I'm looking at this map. I'm like, what are
But
some
do you
of
like hockey? Is that a fluke?
I do. I do like
cities?
hockey.
Well, fuck. Of course you know these cities. All hockey cities.
Right.
No disrespect, Josh.
No, and
What I'm
even
saying is-
I do watch your football though too. Sometimes you probably don't even watch that shit. The CFL.
CFL?
I do watch it a little
I
bit.
don't watch that shit.
See, you don't even watch that shit. I watched. I like the Saskatchewan Roughriders, man. I like their colors, even though the Jets kind of stole their colors. But yeah, they had Ocho Cinco in there, I think, and then
Yes.
Tebow was over there.
I stopped supporting them when they
Sorry.
shorted us down, man. I said that ain't right because we're
Yeah,
Canadian.
I
We
know,
don't
I
get
don't-
poor like you guys.
Yeah, I know. I don't
Fuck
like that. I don't like that.
And I was curious. I was like, I wonder how much tickets are to a Rough Riders
But the
Saskatchewan
touchdown
game.
zone is so much bigger.
$20.
It is bigger.
These guys have shotgun from the 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Their receivers are running down and out from the
Yeah.
1 yard line. It's like 30 yards the end zone.
Yeah,
It's
it
summer. It's summer, and there's no other football. Football's been over. So you know what? Bring on the CFL. That's what I say. So if it's on, I'll watch it.
I'll watch your.
You guys get the CFL
Or
down there
watch
now?
CFL.
Yeah. It's on Saturdays
Really?
during the summer, randomly. Yep.
But don't you guys have USFL now?
I don't know about that. I know we have XFL again.
XFL.
which is-
That's
Mhm.
it. That's it.
that's the Vince.
Oh, that's the one
McMahon
with the
shit.
woman now, right?
No, Vince McMahon.
No, Vince
is far
McMahon.
from that. He's far
No,
from
I-
that.
Oh,
It's not.
no,
Vince
he's still
McMahon
in it,
anymore.
No, he
Yeah,
isn't.
no, it's not Vincent Man.
Oh, it's not.
no,
I know
it's
it's
The Rock.
Oliver Luck.
The Rock?
He's a part owner.
The Rock is trying to buy it.
Buy
now.
it,
I don't know
right.
if he actually got the bid on it, but he was in the process of buying it. But I
I
think Vince
I
McMahon.
believe he bought it, and now there's a woman that's in charge of that league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a big thing about that. I forgot
he's
what her
smart.
name was.
He's smart, The Rock. He knows how to market shit.
Mm-hmm. XFL, they did some good things with the way they did some of their football plays, man. So
You see this show? How we just got so thrown off with these fucked up drivers on the road. Now we're talking about XFL.
you know?
We just
By
get
the
all
way,
kinds of shit off our chest.
I looked it
That's-
up. Now that's because of me, man. My ADD, dude. Like I was doing
All
that in
good.
my live stream. I was on a live stream before a movie aficionado. I was just talking about movies I seen and shows I see, and then I went to video games, and I went to just rambling, dude.
But on
100
this show, you could ramble because there's not one specific topic.
Mhm.
We may
Yeah.
have 4 different things we want to get off our chest, and we all just add our 5 cents to it, you know?
Absolutely.
To your point, though, I guess I'm less ignorant than most, I guess, Americans to Canada because, like I said, I'm Trailer Park Boys, my favorite show. One of my favorites.
Well, at least we're
I
doing
never
something
watched
right
it.
over here.
Yeah, I don't watch this shit either.
Me either.
never watched it.
It's about
You know
weed
what I mean?
too, man. Come on, man.
I can't stand that show, bro. To be honest with you, I don't really like Canadian TV shows, man. I don't like them. They just
They're
want this.
too fucking
What about-
Canadian.
Yeah,
We're
I
not like
agree.
that.
Weekends.
Maybe that part of the country's like that, but we're not all like that. So why do so many of these shows have success, and the ones that are like us, are they even made? You know what I mean? All these shows I see, even from growing up, the Bushwhackers and stuff. What is
Oh
that?
my god, the Bushwhackers.
What is the Beachcombers? What is
The
what is that? We don't have that shit over here, man.
yeah,
Oh my
I know.
gosh.
I know.
Well,
What
that's
show came out of Quebec? Nothing.
what
I
show?
mean,
what?
even
Hey,
if it's
French TV, man. That's what it is.
okay, because I was gonna say, like,
Because
it has to be something
English
French,
shows out of Quebec, not many.
but will it have any fame in Canada? No, just Quebec.
Mm-hmm. There's
Well,
maybe
I
New
know the
Brunswick.
reality TV show there, the one with the dating and stuff. That's watched throughout the whole country, but basically
What's that?
mostly the forgot what it's called, occupation double, like double occupation, where they get guys and girls living in different houses and they intermingle, and then the last couple standing wins like a condo and a car and plates
I
and,
know.
you know,
That's so
it's
Canadian.
yeah. So you know,
You win
it's
a Chevy.
no. Oh, sometimes they win cars, but you know, it's probably electric. So, you know, but that show like was popular throughout the country, but basically just in the French market throughout the country, because you know.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
that was what Roberto had to get off. It's just I couldn't do much because I don't really drive that much, you know what I mean? So at all. But
You know, it's again, just before we leave this topic, I was like again thinking it was only me, and sure enough, I went to visit my parents who love CJAD, and that's what they were talking about. And,
Oh, really?
and they were posing the same questions.
Yeah.
Is it because a lot of people have anxiety due to COVID? Or are these complaints justified? Is there an influx of immigrants coming in? But I can't see that because our borders are closed. So are these guys suddenly getting their licenses after they got their citizenship? What is it? Are we overpopulated? Could someone give me a
Oh man,
fucking
they're all
answer?
from Newfoundland.
Is it that?
They're all from Newfoundland. That's why.
Because I'm telling you, man, they are really pushing me to look like a racist the way I'm fucking ranting in my car. And even if my kids happen to be there and I don't know, they're like, Dad. I'm like, I don't care.
Fuck
You
that
know?
shit.
Yeah, I'm already there.
So
There ain't no
100
turning back.
100 kilometers is 62 miles an hour. So I'm trying to figure out that ours is like 65 is our normal speed up here or down here.
Mhm.
I do 70 over there, and I never got pulled over.
So
I
I'm
put my
assuming,
cruise on 70, and I'm good in the States.
what is that, 110 kilometers? I have to do all this math now. Oh my God. Now,
Yeah, it's about that. It's about that.
It's about
Yeah.
that, yeah.
It's about
I
that.
was, I was telling Anzo I want to drive over there to visit, just whatever, just to see the Hockey Hall of Fame and all this stuff. But I'm scared, man. I'm scared. Now you got all these weird 100 kilometer whatever per hour.
You're
And,
scared of that?
I would just
no,
tell you,
not just that, just other things. Just
don't
driving.
do
You'll be
over
fine.
70. Don't do over 70.
Mhm.
When the cops pull you over, you don't have to throw your hands in the air or out the window. You
I
can
usually
tell
put it
them.
on the steering wheel.
You can tell them it's because I'm black. They won't shoot you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to make jokes. If I go to the States, I'm waiting for my kit. They're like, "What kit?" I go, "My handcuffs, I'm gonna put them on myself already. I know the drop and roll routine. I'm gonna blurt out I'm Canadian. Hopefully they hear me. I had all of these things planned for when I go to the States, you know. And then I started seeing brothers getting shot without handcuffs, with their hands on the steering wheel.
Mhm.
Get your license. He's reaching for something. Like, what the fuck, man?
Mhm.
No,
Do you
no,
guys
no,
have
no, no.
Mounties? You guys have Mounties, right?
Yeah, the RCMP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
they're
don't
not
wear-
in inner cities.
They
No,
don't
they do
ride
not wear
horses.
the
No, they don't wear that uniform.
They
That's
don't
only
ride
for
horses.
You're
ceremonies.
talking like
man.
Bullwinkle and shit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Yogi Bear. Yeah, Bowen.
Yogi, man.
Even worse,
Going back
thinking
to that
Yogi
story
Bear.
about being pulled over, I remember when I remember I went to New York State with my dad once, and we went to a mall, and I remember because I bought one of my first CDs. I got a CD player, and the first CD player, the first CD I bought was Shabba Ranks Raw as Ever,
Mhm.
right? And going back home, my dad had to pee really bad, so about maybe like a click out from crossing back into Canada, my dad goes, I can't take this. I have to pull over and I have to pee. So he gets out of the car, pees, freaking state trooper pulls up behind him, put the lights on him. Sir, get back in your car. But I had to pee. He goes, sir, you can't do that here in the United States. But I'm an old man.
You can do that in Canada.
It's like he got so much crap. And then my father got back in the car, but then the trooper was taking a while. So my father's like, let me go talk to him. Gets opens the door. Like, oh no, get back in your vehicle, sir, right now. And he got back there, gave him back his papers, and goes, you go directly to your border, sir. You cannot do that in the United States. Next time we're gonna arrest you. And my dad's like, for pissing in the woods.
Mhm.
Serious, man. It was like I was in the car.
They do not fuck around, yo. They don't fuck around.
I was scared. I'm like, Dad, stay in the damn car.
You guys don't have a public urination law? Like you can't urinate in public?
Yeah, but you'll get a fine. Like my buddy got caught and he got a $180 ticket.
Yeah,
nah, dude, you could wind up on like Megan's Law if you're in the wrong place, man. That's why I don't.
Yeah, what's Megan's?
Oh, that's like our sex registry, like for sex offenders.
Shut up.
Really?
For peeing outside?
Yeah, because if you're, let's say you're in a park, man, there could be kids around, man.
No,
you're in a park, and you're a park.
We don't pee. Like, I don't know, maybe in the States that's how you guys piss. But we look for the most non-conspicuous place, and you have to run half a block. You'll do it. If you see half a block down, then you have a little shade, you'll run that half a block. Maybe you'll squirt a bit on the way, but you'll run that half a block to get that, that discretion.
If I would count the times that people would piss in my driveway of my building on Barkley, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was
me a couple of times.
Yeah.
All the time, man.
Yeah, it's a big thing, man. My friend can't go to New Jersey. Because he didn't even want to go to court because he was in New Jersey. He went to New Jersey, got a public urination ticket or something like that. He's like, fuck that, I'm not going back. So he just can't go. He can't drive through New Jersey.
Isn't New Jersey a little more strict than most places?
It varies. It varies. Yeah, a little bit.
I saw some really fucked up shit in Jersey. Like we were driving on a road and it said, word for word, no drugs from this point. And we drove 200 feet, and then it was like more or less, okay, now you can.
Really?
But in the same vein,
we were like, did you see that?
Sure. But they just got recreational, though. They got their recreational passed over there in New Jersey. We still have it in New York, so.
Okay. I wasn't
there.
aware of that. That was just a little odd. Because where we were, there was no black people, man. We were in a mall, and I looked around, and I was like, Rock, are we still in Jersey, man? Because I don't see any brothers. He's like, no, bruh. We're the only black guys in here. I said, so why are we here? Like, not that I have anything against white people, but I like a blend, I'm diverse. I need to see other kinds to say, are we the minority now? Or are they the minority? You have to have
go to Trend. Go to Trend.
I was the minority growing up in Cotonou, man, back in that day. So, hey.
Diverse.
Yeah. Trend in Newark. Trenton and Newark are black.
It was Newark. Thank you, Josh. It was Newark.
Oh, that's where you were? You didn't see any black people in Newark?
Well, we ended up in New York to go shopping, but it was like on the way there.
No,
There's
New
like
York.
this place where we were. There's like really big houses with long acres of estates.
Oh,
Like
no.
it was very posh. Like I can't
That's
even
not
tell you.
Newark. That might have been like Edison or Woodridge, New
It was a
Jersey.
part of Jersey that I was like, wow, we're still in Jersey?
Yeah. That's like where like Tony Soprano
Definitely a wrong
lives, man.
turn, man. Definitely a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, this wrong turn could easily be done because you're thinking you're in the right area because it's not broken down. It's not
Right.
it's not a ghetto. It's like the suburbs. So Canadian, you're like, hey, we're safe.
Yeah.
But the USA is no, you're not, brother.
I know.
What are you doing there?
My parents went to visit family friends that live in Mount Vernon. That's right outside New York City.
Yeah.
And they missed the exit, and I don't know where they ended up, right? And they were lucky enough that my mom had a cell phone because my dad doesn't believe in that shit. And my mom was like, "Oh, we're in this place here," and they went. I don't know the area very well, but they were like in a hood area, and all my parents' friends were saying, whatever you do, you don't stop, you keep going straight, you just keep on driving, you keep on driving. And my father's like mentality of Cotonej, right? Because my dad, Anzo can vouch. My dad used to have cookouts there, and people used to walk down the street, and they would look at my dad, they would wave, and he goes, no matter what color or where you were from, he goes, you're hungry, come. And he would feed like half the neighborhood, right? So my dad's that mentality. Doesn't matter, black, whatever. So my dad was gonna stop and pull over and ask these guys at a corner, and all you heard, my mom was telling you, all you heard is the person say, no, keep driving. And my dad's like, oh, okay. And they kept driving. It's like, fuck, I was just gonna ask, black or white. They give me directions, I guess,
It's sad, but that's the case. It's sad.
But that's like the difference of mentality of where you come up and what you've seen and what you're growing up with, right? And,
you got to
one country to the other one, it's crazy. Exactly. You got to respect your environment.
But that's not a black and white thing. That's more of like an economic poverty versus no poverty. Poverty is what causes, people to fear, hey, listen, if I don't jack this dude's car, I'm not going to be able to eat. Doesn't matter what color I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
you're just a victim, and they're all predators.
Patterson's another place in New Jersey. Patterson, Trenton, and Newark. That was where, do you remember Harold and Kumar? Where they're oh, fuck, we got to get the hell out of here. They're in fucking Newark.
Is that the carjacking capital?
I don't know about that. I mean, there's worse places than that. Have you ever been to Philly or Baltimore, man?
I've been to Philly, because I'll give you a story. In Jersey, what happened is I went there with a girl, my fiance at the time. We were going to visit her cousin, who I knew at the barbecue said she was going out of town. We're going to visit her. Okay. We're driving. I see the city lights. I'm like, the city lights are disappearing. I think we're leaving New Jersey. No. We'll take this exit here. So we ended up by the airport. Have no clue, no GPS, no cell phone, no nothing, right? What do I have to do? I have to ask someone for directions. The one thing my parents told me not to fucking do. So I see a woman. She looks nice. She looks like a mother of maybe 2 or 3. Sorry for, discriminating. But, I'm looking for the most logical thing to do, right? So I asked her. She goes, oh, I'm going that area. Just follow me. While we're following her, I go to my fiance at the time. I go, is that fucking convenient? We're lost, and the one person I stopped is going to the same area we're going. I'm in my Mustang, Anza. So she goes, just follow her because we don't know where we are anyways. So we're following her, and as we're going, the area is just getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, babe, if I do something, hold on tight because I'm going all out. I don't give a fuck. So we come to this corner now. The buildings are all condemned. There's no glasses. There's no nothing. There's like 4 12-story buildings on this corner. Anzo, no word of a lie. It's about 500 people on the street. Music playing. People like a Blocko. But it isn't a Blocko. She stops her car and starts walking towards us. I put my shit in reverse. My heart was beating like fucking like beats in my head.
Warriors.
You know, I'm ready to nail it. I don't even know what's behind me. She goes, you drive down here, 2 blocks, make a left, make a right. That's the street. That's where you're going. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I get out of there real quick. I go down, I make a left, I make a right. It's a fucking dead end.
Oh shit.
I back up in the driveway. I turn my car that I'm facing going out.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I'm not getting out of this fucking car. Okay. I go, if you want to ring that doorbell, if you hear my horn beep, you better make sure you're in this car by the 3rd one, because I'm leaving your ass here, because you're the reason we're in this now, huh? I have no fucking clue where we are. I'm like almost in panic mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm sitting in the car. I'm doing this. I'm looking up the street. I'm just seeing more and more people gathering up on that corner. I'm looking at her. Why is she still ringing the fucking bell? I told her nobody's there. She gets in the car. I go, we're out of here. I go up to the street now. Now there's more people there. Do I make a right? Do I make a left? I make a fucking left. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. Now it's like I'm in fucking zombie land. There's 1, 2 people walking around and they're lost. And I pulled a 180 in that street. I didn't even see those guys sitting on the crates. I just heard them jump up. Yo, yo! I pulled a smoke show in fucking Newark or wherever I was. That corner where those people were, Josh, I must have passed there at 180 kilometers. Put that in your translator.
It's
in the city.
That's a lot.
So this story ain't over. We get to where now I see lights and shopping centers so I could breathe, because I'm thinking I'm in civilization now. They didn't get us. I go into one of those stores that you see on Cops all the time. It's like a gas station hangout.
7-Eleven?
Yes, one of those with the 3 plexiglasses at the counter, right?
Yeah.
I go in there. I get spooked. Now I'm already fucked. I'm already paranoid. Like I'm already tripping. I leave right away. And as I'm leaving, I see state troopers by my car. I'm like, what's happening? Maybe the smoke show, all the shit I did, they're coming after me, you know? As I'm getting to the cops, the cop goes to me, are you guys leaving tonight? I go, why? He goes, your girlfriend or fiance, she's having a nervous breakdown. I don't suggest you stay in this area. If you find a hotel, motel, make sure you park in reverse.
A quick exit.
I'm like, you're a cop. You're not supposed to be telling me this. Where the fuck am I? Just tell me, go back home. Don't, you know, what kind of advice do you give to people who are lost like that, you know? We stayed in a motel that had the half an hour rate thing, you know? Sure enough, the guy told me to park in reverse. We made it back, but that's a hell of a story, no?
Yeah, man. I mean, and you can tell the cops giving you that advice. It's like, yeah, we don't have any control, dude. Just good luck.
Yeah.
It was, at that time, it was the #1 carjacking capital of the U.S. That's when they were making all those movies of guys joyriding cars.
Gone in 60 seconds type.
You gone in 60 seconds, shit like that, you know?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the movie, New Jersey Drive.
New Jersey Drive. It's all based on that.
Yeah, New Jersey Drive.
They would have to be very strong to get me out of that car when I'm pumping the clutch with my foot on the floor, you know? Danny
said he's actually from Patterson, New Jersey. Said he was born there.
Represent.
Oh, Daddy, I ain't messing with you.
Atlantic City, too. Atlantic City's nuts, man. I know it's like when you think of Atlantic City, you're like, oh, the casinos, I can go gambling. Yeah, at the casino, dude, go like down the street, dude. Like, it's nuts, man. That's when you know, like, it's nothing but pawn shops. What the hell's the other thing? Cash for gold places, all the type, you know, like low economic stuff. And then the other side's the beach. So, you know, take your pick.
Crazy.
You gotta save that talk for Saturday, Danny. This is off my chest.
You know what I mean? Like talking
football stuff.
Ghostfire asked if you watched.
Okay. He's asking about
if you watched the draft. You know?
Okay.
Like, I didn't watch it. I just know LaMelo went third. But Geishka had a topic that he wanted to get off his
Let's
chest.
hear this. Let's sorry to
So-
hog
Yeah,
in,
man. No,
Oh
because
no, we got time.
I watched the replay of your show last week, right? Because I came in at the end when I started listening to your conversation. And it was all about the N word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And about the new generation, how they use it. And I absolutely agree with you guys, right? They don't know what the meaning is, and I know I'm white. And if you ever ask a white guy if they ever say that word, and they say no, they're fucking lying to your face,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm gonna explain it in the way I mean it. Have I ever directed it at another black person? Never. But if I'm in my car and I'm listening to Biggie, bet your ass I'm saying the lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why
And
not?
that's where
It's part of the song, ain't it?
exactly. But I was on a Facebook feed, and I believe Anzo was with Quinton, right? Where we're talking about, what gives the right of a white person to say that or not say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have no right really saying it directly to hurt someone to say it. And Anzo, have I ever said it to any of our guys growing up on Berkeley?
No.
Well, we did once. And I'm going back to that story because that's a funny ass story, and that's
And
where I
shit
learned.
didn't happen?
That's where I learned. No, you don't say it, right?
Maybe you
Yeah.
have to refresh my
Exactly.
memory because I don't
Yeah,
remember.
dude, I think we were 6 years old.
Okay.
And, back when people were calling white people honkies back then, right?
Mhm.
So, so going back to the whole N-word thing, right? Because I was saying it in my car, right? And my daughter's like, Dad, you can't say that. And I'm like, honey, I'm not directing it at anybody. It's
Mhm.
part of the song.
Mhm.
And going back to the chat, that's why I said, I'm like, if rappers are using it to make money, right?
Mhm.
And I'm paying for that song, I'm not saying it to hurt anybody. I'm saying it because it's part of the song,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Exactly. So that's the thing. But today, when I'm gaming, like I was telling Anzo, I mute everybody in the lobby if I'm not playing with my boys, because it's all and this and that, and I'm not telling you it's not black people saying it. It's white people saying it because you can't see who it is, and they're saying it. And I got into a scrap with this guy. His name was Aaron something gamer tag. I don't know what it was. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? Shut up. Why are you being so ignorant? And he goes, well, how do you know I'm not white? I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know a lot of black Aarons, So I was like, what are you saying, man? And people were like, they use it like if it's nothing, right? And growing up
But
where I was,
how are they using it? That's like you stated. How are
no,
they
they're
using
not
it?
using it in a nice term. Or I don't
Oh,
honestly,
really?
yeah. It's like, you were shit, you suck, whatever. It's always insults, right?
Mhm.
And that's where
I'm
going back
ghost.
to your show last week, right, about generations and saying that word, like throwing it out there, like if it's nothing. That's for me, not even being black, it bothers the shit out of me. I can't deal with that. Because for me, it's ignorance and lack of education. If that's your son talking like this and you're not aware, then you're doing a shitty job as a parent,
Mhm.
right? And educating your children, But like going back to our story growing up, I remember I was the only white guy there, and I remember Anzo never said it,
Mhm.
Gubby never said it, Junior never said it, Marlon never said it. Remember? We
No,
never
we
said
never
it to
said it.
we
No,
never
no.
We heard that shit always in music.
It
It
was
wasn't
always
coming
but
out
you
of
know
our mouth.
who would come in the neighborhood and say it? People that didn't live in our area,
Mhm.
right? And people that were visiting from out of town. They would come
Yep.
and say it. Those were the people that said it.
Mhm.
And I remember one time when we were all we were joking around, and one was going and one and I was there in the circle going and they all just got quiet. I said it, and they all got quiet and looked at me, and I'm like, oh right, I'm not supposed to say it. I'm sorry.
But you know what's funny? On what you just said, I'm sure if one of your boys was just you and him, it wouldn't be a problem. But because now he's amongst more than one who might be offended by it,
Exactly.
he's crossed. Is that okay or isn't it okay?
Right.
Mhm.
Let's just say, for instance, a guy, like a lot of these Chinese or Korean or a lot of these singers that sing in English, they don't speak a word of English, right?
Mhm.
So this guy now hears Biggie Smalls, nigga, please,
Right.
nigga, get on your
Mhm.
knees. And
Mhm.
he starts saying it. How can I get mad at this guy? And he's going to say, well,
Right.
it's okay to say it for you in your songs, but not me to sing your song. How does that make sense?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
But there's people that take offense if they hear
That's
any
ignorance.
non-black
That's
person say
ignorance
exactly,
in every
exactly.
form. Ignorance is not just racism. Ignorance is ignorance.
It's multicolor,
There's
man.
common sense. There's if you can put 2 and 2 together and understand, it always equates to 4.
Right.
If you want to make it 3, then there's medication for you, man. You know, because some people do say no, it's 3 because they want to believe it's 3.
Right.
I do have something interesting, but I'll wait though. You had something.
No, go ahead.
No, always throw it in, Josh.
Yeah.
No, so I'm just fresh off of, and like I was in my group, I was talking about the shows I've been watching. One of them is Lovecraft Country, so I'm fresh off of Lovecraft Country, and I don't know if I know Anzo, you watch it, right? You've spoken about it. I don't know if you guys watch it, but
the wife ain't into that.
So I was a huge fan, man, of H.P. Lovecraft before I was like a teenager, and I wasn't aware of like. I guess I'm just learning about he was a racist, man. He was a racist. He has his cat or something. He named his cat something, the N-word. And he has like one of his monsters is the N-word. And I'm learning all this stuff. But like the point is like you're talking about generations. Dude, back then, coming from the 60s, you watch that show and you're not comfortable at all with anybody saying the N-word. It's always somebody like racist down south that's trying to kill, our characters.
Yeah.
So it's, and Anzo, you can back me up on that because you've.
Oh yeah, that word is all over that show. You know what I mean?
And you feel it, man.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's really hard, man. It's very uncomfortable.
I couldn't watch Roots. I couldn't, not because I can't watch what we went through. I just feel that it brings out a hate in me that wasn't there before.
Right.
Is it I don't comprehend? I don't know. But if I talk amongst my peers, my people, it's like a little stir up of hate. How could they have done that to us? They're still doing one guy, they're still doing it to us. And then that's the chant. You think they are? Oh, they are, huh? Well, what are we going to do about it? Kill the white people, and it's like I never saw that growing up. Right. And I know you guys never saw that growing up uptown.
Nope. Danny said I'm ignorant, Roberto.
Who?
Danny, he's in the chat. He's like, I'm ignorant, Roberto.
Hey, I didn't call out any names.
Because he's like,
if I ever sing in front of him,
he said, censor yourself when you sing it in front of me.
No, and I respect that, man.
No, I didn't.
I'm not. I wouldn't even sing it in front of people. Like if I have my karaoke, of course I won't freaking take that song and sing it, knowing there's black people in the crowd. It's not that. But in the privacy of my own car or in my own home, and I paid for that. Yeah. I'm not insulting anybody. It's part of the song.
But you still have a conscience, be it that you're by yourself. Isn't that something?
Yeah, it is. It is. But you know what?
It's like saying bless you when you're by yourself. You sneeze and you say thank you.
No, but it's like you said, right? It's being conscious that you don't know who's around you or how they're going to react about it, right?
You know right from wrong. That's what it tells me.
That's the thing, right? But
here,
like we're getting off our chest. I'm getting off our chest because it's not something we get to speak. When I heard you guys talking about it on the replay, I couldn't chat and say, give me my 2 cents, right?
But I feel Danny at the same speed too. If a white guy, is driving through the hood, blaring out some, Tupac or something like that, and he's screaming out that nigga, like you got to know your surroundings, man.
Absolutely.
Because not everybody is going to be okay with it. That's just the way it is, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one, Roberto. One day I was there in my van, right? My dad had a van that he gave to me, and I had the music blasting, and it was dance hall. Okay, and I was at the corner of Victoria and Plemondon, going home, and I was blasting the dance hall, and it was these black girls at the bus stop, right? I was waiting for the 160, and they were like, "What?"
Of course.
And they started dancing, and all of a sudden she comes up to the window and she goes, "Mama, clad the guy white." And I'm like, yeah, white boy like to listen to the dance hall too, So I was like, what the hell? It's just, That was just funny. That was
Danny's
like
But
essence-
you grew up with us, though. You know
Danny's
what I mean?
essence
Like,
is still present.
he's like spending
still
time with the
with us.
wifey, but I'm chit chatting right here.
He's still with us, man. I wish he was-
Danny said he's like, I'm just messing with y'all on that.
No,
We know
but I
Danny.
feel him. I feel him. There's a time and a place, and you can know when
Absolutely,
it's
man.
kind of like a disrespect that you're not really respecting the culture and the meaning behind
Mm-hmm.
the word, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're chilling with your boy, I mean, if I'm chilling with my boy, sometimes I call him the N word.
Yeah.
Because to me, the N word with the ER was ignorant. I didn't accept the fact that it meant black. So I tried to demean what they wanted it to affect me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I saw it as, you're calling me ignorant? No, you're ignorant. So I would say, you're an N-word.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no N-word. I'm not ignorant, you know? And that's the way I took on it.
And I agree with you on that too, right? And to what Gaishka was saying, man, like the generation now, it doesn't mean the same to them as it did to us.
Doesn't.
Different
You know
than
what I mean?
Lovecraft Country, man. It's way different, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's totally different. Yeah, when you watch a
terrifying.
movie like that, Mississippi Burning, and you hear it, you
Yeah.
feel the hatred when they're calling you. Now it's just like, hey, what's up, Monique? What's up, Monique? You know what I mean? Like they just say it all the time. Like, so.
But do you not think that there's some higher beings just laughing at us? Like this word was used during racism, you know, burning of crosses, hanging. It has so much hatred behind it. And these guys sing it in their music, and these guys say it all the time. You don't think they make fun of us sometimes? Is it ever crossed people's mind?
I think they do. I think they make fun of us.
Because I know there's a lot of black people who shake their head when they hear or see that shit.
Absolutely. Especially the older generation. My dad was like, you know, when I was younger, I used to run around and I was saying, hey, what up, nigga? What up? This and that. My dad was like, yo, don't you ever say that fucking word around me.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? He's like, don't you ever. And you know my dad, guys.
I know how just
My dad didn't play, man. He was like,
we're talking about it back in the day where if I was doing something wrong, I would get a piece of that hand. That's how it was, and vice versa, man. That's how it was.
If you're white, your last name has to be Tarantino for you to use the word, man.
Tarantino got a pass.
No, you know, that's my dude, man. So
he's everybody's dude, man. Because everybody knows.
H.P. Lovecraft, though. Nuh-uh, H.P. Lovecraft. That's not cool, man. Not cool at all, dude.
Especially the fact that he's a racist. Especially the fact that he's a racist. How did you find out he was a racist, though?
No, because of like I've been looking at his different monsters, and like I didn't realize it, man, this whole time. So now people are saying, yeah, you know, he was a racist, and I was like, what? And you know, in the first episode, they talk about the poem that he has on the creation of, you know, and yeah. So I was thinking like, oh, I wonder if all these other people who I like Edgar Allan Poe and William Shakespeare and all these people, I wonder if they were just like, oh, those fucking black people, you know, because they're not in that time. They're not used to seeing black people.
Comment there. I almost had a racist comment there, but you know what? We're all good. I got to be careful.
No, go ahead. Say what you're saying.
No, Danny says in the South it can be a lot of venom behind that word when not used by black people.
Again, right? Geography and history.
Yeah. It's about where you're from. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say before. But you know, be it that Danny's saying that, look how hard it is. It's used over there. It's used like almost every second, third word. You know, so isn't it hypocritical?
Tarantino has
at some point.
Yeah, Tarantino has the context though. It's like you watch Django. It's like that's what they're saying. You know, Calvin Candy. I felt bad for Leo and everybody, but you know, like you did your thing, man. Calvin Candy. That's how they talk.
That's what I was gonna say. Like in the context of a movie, if you're talking about like 12 Years a Slave or something back in the day, and you're making you're not saying it just to glorify it because that's how that's how it was. You know what I mean? But I find like some of these movies, they just they just do it to glorify that word, man. And I've said it last week. If you're gonna ban someone for using the F word, you got to start banning people for using that word as well. Man.
Absolutely.
But you see, Anzo, what gives that theory you put together even more salt is, like I said, you know, it's hypocritical in some way. How could we take offense to it and we're using it?
No, I agree with you 100%.
You know what I mean? It's got to be one or the other. It can't be both. We can't. It will never get that respect as long as both exist. Take it out of the music. When we grew up, I never heard these words. And these songs are classics to today. Classics to today. It was all about love, peace, happiness. Now they don't want this. They don't want this. This kind of existence could last through any generation and decade, but they don't want it now. They want hatred, separation, fire, negative. That's what's going on now.
Yeah.
And even the good people are feeling it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like
remember Fresh Prince, how much heat he got when he won that Grammy, remember? And he said, when I won this without ever having to cuss. Remember how much criticism he got from other rappers?
But it's a fact. It's a fact.
Absolutely.
Because those guys don't think they can make it unless they degrade women, celebrate drugs, money, cars. They're all the same, the videos. The ones that make it, the videos that I see that make it, are the guys that step outside the box.
Yeah.
They're all dying now.
A little creative.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's the same.
But that's the thing. Where's creativity, right? How many songs are sampling stuff from back in the 80s and 70s now?
Creativeness is disappearing with respect and other
redoing
traits.
movies all over now. And
yeah, and speaking of movies, man, there's one movie I do want to see. It is kind of relevant because I remember you were talking last week about Tekashi. Tekashi's having his documentary come out, so I want to check that out. And
that guy actually
have a good laugh at it.
I could care less.
I don't know if he's left through jail. Oh yeah, but I just want to see. But yeah, he says the N word all the time. It's like, dude, your name's Daniel Hernandez, man. You know, like your name's Daniel Hernandez. We don't use like racial slurs against Latinos. Now, why are you trying to be? You know, what I mean?
And even Fat Joe come out and was like, oh yeah, well we should be able to use it too. I'm like, no.
Can we use Latino racial slurs? Can we use, you know what I mean? No.
You see the conversation up.
Okay, Papa.
That conversation just does not make any fucking sense. Nobody should be using it, man.
I agree.
If you want to use it with your boys on street talk, no problem. But you can't be making millions of dollars off of it.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you know what
it and then saying you can't say it to me, you can't sing my song to me. Like Danny said, you gotta explicit those things out.
But you're what's the word? Normalizing it when you're doing it constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing with that work. And
desensitized.
Yeah.
They don't just whatever.
Yeah, they're desensitizing you to it. So I definitely think they need to do something about that. I know it'll never get done because, like you said, Roberto, we keep saying it over and over again. So until we change, no one's gonna change. You know what I mean?
Like a comment I saw someone made, I don't know who it was, like the term nigga equates to bro. And I understand that. Because I say, what up, nigga? Meaning, what's up, my boy? What's up, homie? And along those lines, right? But I have some white friends who are my bro. Like brothers to me. We grew up from kids like he is to you, right? So what, he can't say it to me because it's offensive when it means brother?
But just growing up in the 80s and stuff like that, even the word boy, you couldn't say that.
Yeah, you couldn't.
You couldn't say that. Yeah, exactly.
Who you calling boy?
Exactly.
It doesn't even matter who said it to you. Right away, your face gets screwed. Who the fuck you calling boy?
I remember being in Plaza Cotonesh and there was something going on and the man was from another country or something. And he was going, oh, easy, boy, easy. Like, like saying, calm down. And they lost his shit. He was like, who the hell you calling boy? And
even me, till this day, I'm like, someone says, hey, boy. I'm like, who the fuck are you calling boy? I ain't no boy. I'm a fucking man.
And that's not
call me no boy.
That's not even a black thing. That's just like, no, I'm 35 or 45 respectively.
Right. No, now it's not. But back in the day, it was.
Oh, no. Sure, that too.
That's what they used to call us. But, like, hey, boy. Yeah,
but in general, I don't like that either, man. Like, no, I'm a man. Yep.
Yeah. Don't call me boy. And Danny said, I think we blacks can use it or not use the word if we want. Only is because we want, or we went through the struggle. No one else, only us. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Danny. I do get what you're saying. 100%, I agree with you.
I get
But
them
at the
too, but don't
but
put
at
it
the
in
end,
music.
right at the end of the day, if we want to get rid of it, then we have to change ourselves from using it because no one else is going to change it unless we stop doing it.
We're not
It's
going
like
to get that respect as long as we keep being hypocrites. We can't
Right.
say that it's okay for us to say it, but not you.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
agree.
not say it, and maybe it won't get said. We got to
it's
try something new, right?
it's kind of like saying
Mhm.
all Germans are Nazis, right? And they call each other Nazis, and they're not, right?
Right.
Exactly.
hmm And Caleb said, I just don't understand why we use a word that was used to degrade us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, depending when you grew up, where you grew up, it could be common or it could be non-used, depending on your upbringing. Like you
Absolutely.
said, your pops would whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I never chose of using the word because all the time I heard it, it was never used properly. It was
Mm-hmm.
always degrading. So why would I say it to somebody?
Exactly. I agree.
No one had
Listen,
good intentions when it was used on me.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. And I mean, I'll tell you a story. Like I was, it was actually at what's the place we did at the old port? Etel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it was at Etel. So I was on the phone, right? And picked up the phone and I'm doing my pitch, whatever. And this guy was like, "Oh, hey, you effing nigger, you jigaboo." He called me every single word in
I
the
think I
book.
remember.
But the last one he called me was a spear chucker. And at that time I had
You laughed, right?
yeah, I never
You're
heard
getting
that before.
creative, huh?
So I started cracking up. I was like, "What did you call me? You called me a spear checker?" And I was dying. And he hung up on me because it didn't get the
It
effect that
wasn't
he
meant to
wanted.
get a
Yeah,
laugh, right?
you know what I mean?
never heard that before.
That's creative.
I never heard it at the time either before. I was like, spear
Spear
chucker.
chucker. That just made me laugh instantly.
Yeah. But
Like,
I know
out
what he
of
was trying to
God
do.
must be crazy or something.
Right.
But you know what?
Because mhm,
As you said, he didn't get the response he wanted to get out of you.
Exactly.
So
mhm,
he was defeated.
right.
Yeah, that
Imagine
sounds
had
like
you not responded like that, you might
Mhm,
have got him fired because he would have brought you out of your composure and you
mhm,
would have been you fucking this, you fucking that, and you forget
right.
you're in the office.
Right,
right, right.
exactly.
You're fucking
And
fired.
everything's being recorded and
He's
shit.
a
You know what I
troll,
mean?
man. He's a
Yeah,
troll. It doesn't even sound like
absolutely.
he might not even be a racist. He might just be like, "Oh, let's see who I can torture
Oh
today."
no,
Probably,
that's some
well, maybe
racist
he does.
shit.
No, I mean it
That
is
was
racist shit.
creative. That
You know what
was
I'm saying? Like,
He
spear
put a lot of thought
chucker.
into that sentence to say spear chucker, man.
no,
And
for
Hey,
he
Right.
real.
put
somebody
thought
on
into
that
that.
list of content or list of comments got some content there, boy.
Right.
Somebody.
No, like I go on like the because I watch my football sometimes on crack streams and they have a
Mhm,
chat. It's not even like monitored or censored or anything. So people are just like F this and that, all types of crazy stuff, pictures of like penises or whatever. And it's literally like you guys are a bunch of trolls, man. I have to turn off the chat and just
mhm.
watch the game full screen because otherwise, like, and I don't even know. You don't know if they're black, white, whatever. They might just be trying to get a rise out of people. So
There's way too much trolls out there, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you thought you were, and you know what we did, Roberto. We had to have a thick skin. You know what I mean? Like we were getting cursed out constantly on that phone. I would call people, right? And we have our cable companies call Rogers. Okay, I would call people and tell them, I'm going to give you this exact same plan that you have, but we're taking off $5 off your bill. Fuck you. No way. You're not changing my bill. You're not doing that. I'm like, we're saving you money and you're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
the same thing.
We're
No,
going
fuck you. Fuck
we're
you. I
having
know that. Don't
anxiety.
touch my shit. You know what I mean?
We're
So,
having anxiety because we couldn't understand why these people don't want to save money. Is
right.
your hatred for this company so deep that you can't listen to common sense?
Exactly,
You
so
know?
we had to have a thick skin. So that's why, like, when he was calling me names, I was like, how did you know? How do you even know I'm black? And that's when he was like, oh, I could hear it in your voice, spear chucker. And then I
you should
just
have been
broke
like,
down.
"No, I'm from the Philippines."
After that, I just started laughing. I couldn't stop anymore. So he hung up, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we do definitely got to do something that should change that. So, you know, But
I had the total opposite. I had a client telling me, I noticed his dialect. I go, "You're Jamaican, right?" He goes, "Yes, I am." "How did you know?" "Where you from?" "So I'm Jamaican too." He goes, "You're not white?" I go, "Obviously, I'm doing my job right." You know what I mean? Because if I come off as a black guy, I'm going to get discrimination, which I don't want. It's going to hurt my numbers. So if you think I'm Bob Peters, this white guy who lives in suburbs, then that's how I'm doing my living. I'll never.
Sure.
Well, it wasn't that deep, but it was presentable, and I'm like, but I'm a little bit offended because what do you mean I don't talk like a black guy? How did black guys talk?
Yeah, right.
Because
Am I supposed to say that Josh is not black
Well,
because he's not using any slang?
Right.
Well, that's what they get a lot with reporters and anchors, right? In sports, when they talk, right? That's where I heard that discussion going on about in the past with black people criticizing other black people that don't sound black, especially on the news and stuff like that.
They wouldn't have got that job, you dumbass. That's why they don't sound like that.
Well, that's what they're doing with the vice president now. It's like, oh, she's not black. She's not black.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
She grew up in Montreal. Her mother was a professor at McGill. She did her elementary school in French here, and she did her high school at Westmount High, and graduated from Westmount High.
Oh, really?
In Montreal, yep.
I read about that. that. So yeah, but that's good though.
Yeah, it's just crazy, right? The connections that sometimes our city has that we don't really know about. It's something.
And that you got to leave here to go do in the States to make it somewhere. You know what I mean?
Well, she was American though, right? She was.
Oh, she was always American.
Yeah. Her mom was here just for teaching, so that's why she came here at a young age.
Gotcha.
It was.
So Josh, did you
I want to
have
go back
any?
to your point though.
Yeah,
I did want to go back to his point about like me. Like, I hate to say it, like if you talk to me on the phone, you might not think that I'm black. Like, you might just think I'm. If you shut your eyes and you listen to me talk, I don't know, man. I don't know. People have perceived notion on it.
You have a high pitched, raunchy voice, so I would give you black, but from the suburbs.
And definitely not 35.
From here would be your West Island black.
Yeah.
and not 35.
And these guys know what I mean. It's not a disrespect.
No, I understand, man. I understand.
I'm good for myself. I'm moving to the West Island. That's what you're saying.
More privilege,
the right choir, man. I know.
More privilege, more suburbanite.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny.
We clashed. You knew right away where this guy was from by the way he talked. He's either from the South Shore or he's from the West Island. He's not from the city because if you're from NDG, you had a certain dialect. If you're from Little Bergen, you had a certain dialect. If you're from Côte-des-Neiges, as you can hear with Geisker, he has a bit of a patois in his talk, because he hung around so many Jamaicans, or that was the thing. Trinis too. But even the Trinis were talking like Jamaicans. Jamaicans in the 70s was the way to be. Just like when the Haitians came, that was the way to be at one point. You know what I mean?
That whole area was the way it was. When I was little, we had Italians. There was a lot of Italians on our street.
Yeah, Barclay from Lavoie, Gary to Lavoie.
Exactly. There were some Spanish people that, even though my parents were Spanish, they didn't really relate with them too much because, my dad didn't like any of them. That's a different story. And then you had, your Nova Scotians, then you had your Trinis, then you had your Jamaicans, and it was just a melting pot. And then as time freaking went on, all of a sudden, some ship from somewhere came, and all these Filipinos came, Laotians came, and Vietnamese came, the Russians came. That's what it is, right? It's where all immigrants first come to, right? It's affordable housing, and honestly, I wouldn't change my childhood for nothing.
Me either.
Nothing.
Yeah, same.
Would you believe me, Josh, if I told you my best friends growing up, was a Spanish girl and a Greek girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking in the early 70s. Could that
Mhm.
even be possible in the US?
No,
And where?
Nah, man.
You
Maybe
know,
the 70s.
I'm
Maybe the
curious.
70s,
I'm
but-
not
But
stating
dude,
anything. I'm curious.
But
Mhm.
watching Lovecraft Country again, I hate bringing that up, but it's like they're in the 60s and it's like they're just trying to sit down and have a bite to eat. And meanwhile, the next minute, it's like, oh, let's go get those, those
Mhm.
monkeys that they're shooting at them.
But
like,
it's crazy because you see, we didn't even feel that up here. I never, as a kid, felt that kind of racism that I saw on TV that was going on in the States.
And did you guys watch Green Book? Are you familiar with the?
Yeah,
I know the movie. I never seen it though.
With Mahershala. So they're like, they go from New York, New Jersey area, the northern area, all the way down to through the South. And the South, I guess, that was where all the stuff was happening. But they were used to normal, like everybody was used to where they were, having black people, white people everywhere in the urban areas. Second that they went down to, through the Green Book areas, that's when they started to notice you can't be in this bar, you got to go to the other bar. And like you can't eat ice cream here, you got to eat ice cream on the other side of the thing. It's like, what's the point of that? What even was the point of that? Like, we're all, in the same place.
We are, but to them, even till this day, we still aren't equal. You know what I mean? We still aren't equal. So that's a big issue.
There's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff like that. And it starts with education, man. It really does. And
so
breaking those bad habits, that's what it comes down to, right?
That's why
it's taken many steps back.
It has, but I think when it comes to racism, our kids' generations and then their generations, I think sooner or later they're gonna.
I hope so, because you know what?
Get close to eliminating it.
Dude, just come to LaSalle, man. There's a white girl and a black guy, or a black guy with a white girl.
All over the place.
It's all over the place. Asian,
absolutely.
white, Asian.
Yeah, but you know what? The construction is just making it so fucking hard over there. You know what I mean? To get to LaSalle is like, man, you're planning a trip to Vancouver. Josh.
Oh my gosh.
Our city is constantly going through
under
a
construction.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, like Google is fed up, Waze is fed up. Just fucking go wherever you want, it tells you. I'm tired of rerouting.
You're in an up and coming area. Is that why it's the rebuilding?
No, we're in an area where the government did not invest money because they were so damn corrupt into the infrastructure of the highways, to the point that they started falling in chunks that they had to put fence mesh underneath it because blocks of concrete were falling on people's cars while they were driving. So what they did is this major intersection, they tore it all down and they rebuilt it, and it was under construction for and it still is. It's not even finished yet, but for 10 years. About.
Oh my God.
More or less. Yeah. And it's not done every year, man. That's why our flag should be changed to a cone, a traffic cone.
Not to mention the potholes.
Yeah. That's only 20% of your life, man. 10 years, don't worry about it, bro. We'll be right.
But it's not over.
We just built a new bridge.
Yeah.
That's outside of Toronto or outside of Montreal? Which?
No, it's
we are Montreal.
It's in the city. That construction we're talking about, it's in the city. Yeah.
All three of you are Montreal, right? None of you are Toronto?
No, Montreal, yeah.
Toronto's the enemy.
But I want to go there. That's where the Hockey Hall of Fame is, man. I want to go visit Toronto. But I
love hockey. Hockey's in my blood. I ain't going.
They have the Hockey Hall of Fame in a city that hasn't won the Stanley Cup that often.
To me, Toronto, I'm right behind Dallas Cowboys.
Have they won?
Well, that's my last one. It's my last one. I have Cooperstown, Canton.
Toronto hasn't won a cup since the 70s or 60s, maybe.
60s. 63, I think.
Yeah.
Montreal is the last Canadian team to have won the Stanley Cup back in '93, man.
Yeah.
Not one Canadian team has won since then.
Vancouver was close because they lost in 2011 to the Bruins.
True.
I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. I think that's it. I think that was the last person.
So, Josh, did you have anything you wanted to get off your chest?
What shit movie was made?
What shit movie? I just watched Guns Akimbo. That was interesting. It was Daniel Radcliffe, old Harry Potter, he has guns surgically attached to his hands, and he has to shoot this other woman. Yeah, I know, man. He's going nuts, dude. My friend said that to me too. He's like, dude, what's up with him? He's doing all these weird ass movies. And I'm like, yeah, it's because he's trying to get out of the Harry Potter vibe. He's like, listen, I'm not just a child actor anymore. I have range. I can do crazy things like be a corpse or have guns attached to my hands.
Seriously. It's like when he's reading that, it's like, oh, this is different. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to be like Macaulay Culkin. I'm not just a Harry Potter. I don't want people to die. It's like, no, dude, you're Harry Potter. All right. Sorry.
When you do so many, it's very hard to escape, man.
Well, look at Keanu, right? He was Neo for the longest time until he became John Wick.
No, he was
Very similar.
He was in Bill and Ted before that, though. So he was Bill and Ted.
Oh, yeah.
Bill and Ted was
So-
one. Well, yeah, I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
And they're doing a new one.
It's all
Yeah.
right.
Oh, it's out already. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
I wasn't a big fan of it.
Josh, ask you a question since you're into movies.
Yeah, man.
When's the last time we had Blockbuster?
We had one last year. It was called Avengers Endgame, and it was the largest.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So,
And any Marvel movies are blockbusters.
But all the Marvel movie were blockbusters. I'm talking like a range of blockbusters. You know, like every summer and every Christmas, there's like 3 or 4 movies that are coming out that you're just dying to fucking see.
there was.
When's the last time that's happened?
Dune was supposed to be one of them, and
Who?
Dune.
That was
you know,
the last one.
Well, it
Yeah,
didn't
but
come
Dune
out.
didn't come out yet. But
Not Dune.
he's
What was
talking.
that other one?
So
Those big-eyed people.
big-eyed
Those
people.
colorful people. They flew and what was that shit called?
Which one you talking?
That movie that got all kinds of accolades.
That recently came out?
No, a while back.
Oh, you're talking Avatar?
There you go.
Oh, Avatar?
Avatar.
Oh, that was 09, man.
Jesus.
2009.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Only
remember a
supposed to
real
do
blockbuster
another-
that's come out. Like something that me and my
Not
wife
Star
said we
Wars.
can't wait.
Not Star Wars.
Yeah, but that's something that's gone already. Not a remake, not a series, like a new concept movie that is big.
You know which one comes to
John
mind when you
Wick.
say that?
John Wicks have been semi-blockbusters.
Yeah, but they make 1, 2,
What's
3, 4.
When-
It's the same fucking shit, man.
When Judgment Day came out.
Which one?
Judgment Day. Terminator Judgment Day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, something
When
like that.
When that was coming out, I remember the hype
Oh.
behind that movie. I remember going into that theater, and when he would reload the freaking shotgun on the motorcycle, the freaking theater went nuts. And you know where I saw it? I saw it at Atwater on opening night back in the day at Alexis Neon.
They had a Terminator movie last year, so
Yeah, but
I
that
didn't
was not
see
no
that.
Yeah.
blockbuster.
That's what I'm saying. They
That was
keep
not a
making
blockbuster.
either remakes or they
No.
make part
Anything
7, part 8. There's nothing. They're not creative enough to come up with something.
Anything
say,
The
hey,
Rock is in.
Don't milk it as long
The
as
Rock.
people go to see it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Anything The Rock is in. Oh, Tenet? Nah.
Tenet was it would have been a blockbuster if it wasn't for the pandemic, but it was something new. It was something different. Like
The Rock.
That's
The
the
Rock
guy
does
from that
blockbusters,
football
so.
movie.
which one?
Is that the guy who was in that football show?
No, it's
It's like
Denzel
James
Washington's
Bond.
Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah, John David Washington.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. He was
Christopher
in-
Nolan.
He was in the Black Klansman, if you've seen that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
him. That's him.
But no, like I was saying, The Rock, anything The Rock is in, like Skyscraper or
That was a
the
bust.
Gorilla. No, they're a bust, but that's what you're talking about, like a blockbuster. He
Like
was supposed
that.
to be-
Those
yeah,
are weak blockbusters, man.
But he was
because-
supposed to be in another one, like a Pirates of the Caribbean thing, some kind of ride-based thing like that with Amy Adams or something like that. A Quiet Place 2, that was supposed to be another blockbuster. So
There you
there's
go, 2.
there's some bang. Yeah, all right. That's
JJ
true.
said Hollywood is suffering from a bad case of rebootitis.
You got that right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn right about that,
Mhm.
man. Absolutely.
He was in Ballers. That's what he's talking about on.
Yeah,
They're-
thank
they
you
even-
very much. That's what I was referring to. He was in
They're,
Mhm.
they're even coming out with Lethal Weapon 5 now.
Yes.
Apparently,
No way.
Danny
Yeah.
Glover and Mel Gibson are in talks
Danny
now.
Glover still?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he doing his own stunts?
Better not.
Oh
Better
shit!
not.
That's called scraping the fucking bucket, man.
That-
Cheese on bread.
So, did you have anything, Josh, other than that?
Oh,
You have anything you want-
nothing too crazy. I mean, I don't want to have a 3-hour-long political discussion too much like we did last week, but no, I've been learning
No,
more.
come on.
Bring it.
We
I've
want
been
the
learning
American
more.
perspective.
I've been learning to be more centrist, man, and just take it with a grain of salt. All these issues that we had last week that I talked about, whatever, man. Whoever's in there, just get the issues correct, man. I don't care who it is, Joe Biden, Trump, Kamala, whoever it is. Just do your thing. Don't fuck up the country anymore, than it already is.
I agree.
Nonsense.
Well, we did have a discussion on my show the other night about the fraud, and we were talking about, do you believe that there's voter fraud? So what do you think of that?
He's blaming Canada. He blamed Canada. He says that the machines for the electoral thing was fabricated in Canada, and it was a Chinese software that we use.
I mean, that sounds ridiculous. But I will say that, like I said last week, it is ridiculous that they have human beings look at each vote physically and say oh, Biden, Trump, this, and they're getting paid less than minimum wage. You know what I mean? To for all these votes, how can it be that it can't be accurate? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Is you're doing it for 8 hours. You're sitting there counting votes. You're bound to human error. You might have human error.
You're right. There's human error and fraud are two different things, right? But the amount of fraud that he is calling for, I mean, you know how much people would have to be involved for that? You frozen? Can't
hear? Who's frozen?
Josh, no, I'm good. I'm good again. I remember that happened on Square One. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I good? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I don't know about all the fraud. I definitely agree with human error. I think I don't think it's specifically anything intentionally we're going to screw you over. I think it's just fucking a terrible system. And I hope I don't know if you guys are too familiar with blockchain, like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, stuff like that. So I hope that the blockchain technology somehow makes its way into voting so we can have a fair, you can't say shit about,
they don't want that
person to get voted. Well, that's what I want.
Maybe in 50 years.
No.
It's not going to happen because it's going to
blockchain technology is in there though.
What's that?
Yeah, no, that's what I want. I want legit.
No, we want that. They don't want that, Josh. The powers
I'll
that
go
be,
one
they
step
don't want
further
that.
with that. That's true. I'll go one step further with that, and this is semi-sports related. I want that for football and basketball too. No more referees, no more human referees. Let us know if the ball crosses the goal line. Put a sensor in the ball. Just have technology. Have the AI figure out all this shit. So
look how long it took. Look how long it took FIFA to imply replay in soccer.
Baseball too.
Yeah, but that's because there was so much corruption in them. Who won, who did not won, and now they're going crazy with the replays, right?
Yeah, and it's relevant. That's the same thing with voting.
Absolutely, dude. It's making it fair.
You guys still there?
Sounded like someone stepped away from the mic.
I did step away for a second. What did I miss?
Am I still here?
No, we left.
I gotta talk to LGD Pixels, man. I gotta ask him about my router, my internet.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. Now, I do have something I would like to get off of my chest, actually. So I'm gonna say this. I was born here, Canada, right? And my background is from Nova Scotia. And recently I met some dude, it's like, hey, it's a dude around the block. I see him all the time and say hi. So he finally asked me, he's like, hey man, where you from? Nova Scotia. Well, first I say always Canada, you know what I mean? Then it's like, oh, what's your background? Canadian. No, where are your grandparents from? Canada. You know what I mean? They're Canadian. He's like, oh, but you're black. So I'm like, okay.
That's stupid shit.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. Obviously, you don't know your history, right? So I'm just fed up because my family has been in Canada since the 1800s. Like I traced my family back. They were on Ancestors. I don't know who put them up there, but my family went back to 1800s in
Wow.
St. John's, New Brunswick, and same in Nova Scotia, which is my mom's side, you know?
That's the pipeline.
Right, exactly. So at this point, like, since my family's been in Canada for so long, I mean, my family's been in Canada longer than some of the white people that's families that been in Canada. So how can I end or say that I'm from anywhere else? Like, I am truly a Canadian, you know? And a lot of people, they don't know their history. So
Right.
the history is in Nova Scotia back in, I think it's 1740 something, right? There was a town called Africville. And
It's still there.
I think they're yeah, but I think they're like trying to tear it down and shit. Like they're trying to.
They
tear it
can't.
down.
There's too much history there, man.
I know. But I was just reading today that they're saying that they're
No fucking way.
Yeah. I have it up here. They said they hold on. Let me find it. Okay.
That's where the tunnels were.
The name
from the States.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. The Underground Railroad.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you see a lot of. Yeah, you see a lot of people don't know that the Underground Railroad came here to Canada, Nova Scotia, which was the first African settlement in Nova Scotia, right? It was right next to Halifax. And I don't know much about before the 1800s, but I heard that the Black people came from Sierra Leone and then went to Africville. Some were slaves from America that went to the Underground Railroad and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But that's just my point of it. It's like people see me and think because I'm Black, it's like, oh, well, you've got to be from some island.
West Indies, yeah.
I get Jamaican all the time, right? And I get it. It's because I
have that look. Look at your beard. Look at your mustache.
Right. You know what I mean?
That's what
it's more so the accent.
Because my shit ain't like Onzo's.
And you would explain your accent. Right.
Right. And that's the thing too. A lot of people say the accent, but me, I don't. I mean, I may have little tendencies say certain words like Jamaican.
No, you have it, Onzo.
I have
fucking deny you have it.
Fuck, if I have it, man, you have it. Exactly.
When Geister starts explaining himself, you hear it. That's uptown talk. When I used to go to the Maritimes, they go, you have an accent, a strong accent. And then when my cousins came up here, they go, yeah, all you in Côte-de-Neige have that accent.
Well, that's the exact thing, because when I started YouTube, everybody was like, oh my God, your accent. I was like, accent? Canadian accent, you know what I mean? I'm like, my accent is Canadian. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yo, Onzo, where are you really from, man?
Really? Really?
Stop your shit. Where you really from?
Yep, all the time, bro. And it's frustrating, especially when you live here in Canada and you're supposed to know your history. Now, I do know that we don't get a lot of Black history in school. Like I've had one class of Black history in my whole entire school life, right? So there was one year Black history, and then that was it. But I get that. But you still learn the history of Quebec and Canada. And when you get that, you also get the history of Nova Scotia. They don't talk about Africville. I had to learn that on my own. But you do learn about the Underground Railroad and the slaves that came over from the States here, right? So all this was happening in the 1800s. So at the end of the day, like when you're 5 generations, 6, 7 generations Canadian, how can you say you're from anywhere else? You know what I mean? What am I supposed to say? Well, yeah, I'm from America, or I'm from, my background is Canadian.
Which part of your family came from Africa? That's what they want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they want to know.
Yeah.
There's no way that you started here.
Exactly.
There was never none of you here before. That's how they think.
You just made a good point.
What boat brought you here?
No. So now you made me think. I do have something now to get off my chest now.
Come on, bring it on.
Now I remember now. Because like for me, like over here in the States, people were known to be either African American. And for me, it's like, I'm not from Africa. And any of whatever ancestor I've had, I'm just American or whatever, dude. It's just like that line in Us, which I love that movie. It's like, who are you people? We're Americans. And it's like, oh, that's it, man. Because saying African American, it's like, dude, first off, you're not from Africa.
You're branching yourself.
Right, and you're separating yourself, and you're making it seem like a little less. It's like the subtle thing. Black, that's it. You know, you guys, I don't know if you guys have that where it's like they call you African Canadian or some weird.
Never heard of it.
No,
you know what I mean? Like we have that, a lot of that. Oh, he's African American. He's African American. No, he's black.
Isn't that funny?
Okay, you can say black.
I never fucking realized that.
No, I was thinking about
we as
that
blacks
too,
would say we're Canadian. There's no African about it. You can see. I'm a black Canadian. I don't need to emphasize.
Right.
I never dawned on me, Josh. Fucking
the only
crazy.
thing that they fuck up on here, it's the applications now where they say, "Are you a visible minority?"
Yes.
That's the freaking question. My daughter was filling up an application the other day.
Of getting the job or not?
Exactly, because they have this quota right now that they have to have visible minorities working, especially in the public sector and things like that. My daughter was filling up.
Change is being made, supposedly, you know.
So and they go around asking that question by African American or whatever as a visible minority. And I remember I heard my daughter says, "Mom, why are they asking for a visible minority?" My wife's like, "Well, you're a minority, but you're not visible."
Why hasn't some smart black kid gone up to his dad and say, "Dad, how come we're African Americans, but my friend Billy is just American?"
Exactly.
No, he's Irish.
I want to hear what his father. No. He doesn't introduce himself as Irish American.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree.
So why, Daddy? And I like to hear what Daddy would have to say. I know he's going to go back to. That's why we will never get that respect, because we have a second title to our citizenship. We cannot, because when I grew up, black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, you were American. There was you know, African American. I just feel like it started to grow strong. Like when
they decided to try and get rid of the N-word, right? So they started replacing the N-word with African American. Telling you, they're like, okay, well, we're going to call them African Americans. I'm like, no, they're Americans. Right. We're Americans. I'm Canadian. I ain't no Afro-Canadian. And someone said that to me, right?
And not all brothers have afros.
Exactly. So
not all white people have hair.
You know?
Exactly. I had a friend, I can't remember his name, but whatever. We were talking one day, and he was talking about black people, and he was like, "Yeah, African Americans." And he was like, "No, African Canadians." And I was like, "Bro, just say blacks. Like, we're black. We're not African."
Because he doesn't want to offend you. Yeah.
You're not gonna offend me by saying black, because I'm black. You know what I mean?
There's all those word games that people use. It's not just for the black community. It's for like, oh, they're not midgets. They're little people. It's not, you know. Some people might be like, no, we're little people isn't even the right word. You know what I mean? They all don't want to be offensive, so they say African American. You know,
sensitive times, man.
Exactly.
Like, oh, they're on their tippy toes. It's like a reverse racism. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for me, it's like, man, we grew up in a day where this sensitive shit did not fucking. There was nothing like that. You know what I mean?
We never heard about depression back then either.
You know what I mean?
You guys definitely are
positive.
What's that? What's that, Josh?
You guys definitely are African American, no matter what. Because you're not American.
You got that
right. Yeah, man. So it's for me. It's like, you know, everybody's so sensitive now. And you can't say this. You can't do that. You can't do this. And it's like, oh, man, fuck all of that. Back in the day, and I mean, you watch an Eddie Murphy stand up.
I know it by heart, man.
That could never go on again today. He could never say that.
Just Blazing Saddles, man.
Do you know how
Blazing
many
Saddles
people
can't come out today?
would not be famous? Do you know how many football players, hockey players would not be in the Hall of Fame if they were playing today? Because their style of game would be scrutinized. All those guys that fucking put people in concussions for skating with their head down or catching a pass in the middle of the field, those guys would be kicked out of the league.
I agree.
Yeah, Lord.
Those guys are very thankful to play in the era they played in, because that game is not the same. Wait, you telling me there was no superstar quarterbacks back then that should have been protected? But if you want to be a quarterback, you want to make that big money, you want to get all the fame and notoriety, there's risk involved, my brother. Those 5 or 6, 7 men up there that weigh 300 plus pounds want to kill you. You sure you want that position? Yes.
Some of those quarterbacks
Let's
back
do
in the
this.
day were like the toughest on the team, bro.
Yes.
They had to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now it's just like basketball or a bunch of prima donnas, man.
Yes.
And not only that, the equipment back then, it was so much heavier, less protective, it was so much heavier. Like, frick, man. I upgraded my hockey equipment from back in the 90s, like 10 years ago.
Hold on.
And I still had that Jofa freaking thick ass freaking shin guards like this that when you sweat in it, it was like 10 pounds each. After that, man.
Be still my heart. Is someone talking about hockey other than me?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Where have you been?
Oh, I missed hockey. No, I missed hockey last year. I watch hockey though. I do. I'm a big Bruins fan. My boy Tuukka Rask, he's not even in the league anymore.
The new black authority that's going on in the NHL, where a couple of ex-NHL brothers are starting to get more notoriety for blacks in hockey. They would come down on us hard for not talking about hockey on our show.
We
got to give some brothers some fucking notoriety that are, you know, the Cofield, my brother, got second pick in the NHL, a black kid. I never saw that in my future when I was playing hockey. Second pick in the NHL draft? That is fucking huge.
Name me some black guys from back in the day. Grant Fuhr?
Yeah, but you know what the sad thing is? A lot of those guys, we question whether they were black. Like Grant Fuhr, a lot of guys used to tell me, Grant Fuhr ain't black. Grant Fuhr ain't black. This is white people telling me that, eh? Oh, you're not stealing Grant Fuhr. He ain't black. He's more white. Look at him. He's not as dark as you.
Well, that's what it is.
Pokey Reddick was black to me.
Yeah, he was really black, but they say he wasn't good.
They say the same thing about Tiger Woods.
We're going back in the day.
I'm sorry, Tiger Woods is now.
Like back in the day.
No, Tiger Woods is old, man. Tiger Woods is like 20 years now. He's been playing golf. Tiger Woods has been like 20 years in the league playing golf or something.
Yeah,
he started really young.
He started at 17, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, he started
really young. Yeah.
Plus, we're a lot older than you, Josh. So.
Josh, imagine I'm a little darker than you. I used to get told I'm not black.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Anzo used to say, like Anzo just said before, he had to justify. I think I'm a little darker. It's just my lighting is a little bright on my face right now.
Let me turn down
you know what? No one believed I was Jamaican. I had curly hair.
Yeah.
Yes, I permed it a couple of times because it was the in thing, but it was naturally curly. I
so glow.
Yeah, you got that right.
It's because you don't talk like Bushmaster. Yeah, you don't talk like Bushmaster Sean Paul.
I used to always have to defend in my neighborhood that I was Jamaican. Where are you born? I'm born here. Where are your parents from? Jamaica. So where are you from? Well, you dumbass, I'm Jamaican, born in Canada. I don't know how I can explain it differently. That makes me Jamaican in Canada. Doesn't that make sense? But I always had to defend it. But then I would tell them, do you go to the Jamaica Association? Yeah, all the time. How you mean? I say, you ever meet a man there named Mr. Mendez? Yes. So you don't think there's some coincidence? He's a Mendez and I'm a Mendez and he's lighter skinned than me, but he's Jamaican and I'm not? You dumb illiterate.
And you're also Spanish too, though, right? Are you Puerto I don't know.
No, well, you know, all kinds of people migrated through Jamaica. I am what you call a mutt because there's more than 2 mixes in my family.
Me too, man. I know.
Many mixes, you know.
Going back to Dawson when I was there, I was trying to get into the radio station, right, to do some like comedy segments and stuff like that. And when I went for the interview, it was a white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay, I walked in, I was like, wow, man, this is a nice girl. So I get there and I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the interview for the radio show. All right, you take the piece of paper, you take the pen, you go sit down over there, you write your name. And I'm looking at him going, what the fuck? and I'm looking at her, I'm like, stop fucking with me, right? She must have known that I was coming for the comedy thing. So I was thinking I was getting had.
Mm-hmm,
No,
mm-hmm,
she was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica,
mm-hmm,
and she was second generation Jamaican.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Blonde hair, whiter than me, blue eyes.
they're all over, man.
I just.
You never met that Chinese Jamaican? He had the shop downstairs from the curry house.
Oh yeah.
I walked in there. I heard this guy
yeah.
talk. I almost dropped my beer on the floor.
Yeah. I remember him.
What?
I remember him.
This guy was more
crazy.
Jamaican than my dad, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And
Mhm.
when I was in Spain too, I was visiting my dad's town, and I'm sitting on the front steps of the bar. A car pulls over, and two Chinese girls come out speaking in full Spanish accent there, and she goes, looking at me, "You're not from around here," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Warren said,
This
which
comment,
one?
Caleb Jones. I want to make it big, but I'm scared that the Illuminati shit they talk about is real. Oh man.
Oh, okay. Hold on. First, let me answer
No, I
this
like
one.
that question from Warren.
Yeah, Warren said
Okay.
one question. If my wife and I want to move to Canada, I as a construction worker, my wife as a teacher, can we make it? Sorry, phone sucks. Ignore the last attempt question.
Move to Montreal, you'll have work the rest of your life in construction.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The problem with moving into Quebec is depending on what your wife's studies are, she
Mhm.
might have to do the equivalent under the Quebec government and also in the French because of the French and the language.
Right.
That's the issue with coming to Quebec.
Mhm.
Ontario and the other provinces, you'll have less of a problem. But
Not
Like
as
based
much
on your
constructive.
school?
yeah, because of
Okay.
the language. Yeah.
Yeah. Language. Yeah, right here in Canada, like they're gonna have to learn French right away.
No,
Quebec,
no,
they're gonna have to
Canada.
learn French.
Mostly
No,
in
Quebec. Yeah, that's what I meant. Quebec. They're
Yeah, I don't
gonna
know
have to
French,
learn
man.
French.
I'd be fucked, dude.
Yeah, but you see, Josh, you come here, we put you in the West Island, nobody will know shit.
Yeah, for real.
My
Is that a hipster place? Is that what you're trying to say? The West Island?
No.
It's how you see the language thing too. Like
Mhm.
my parents came here in the 60s, right? And they came in the middle of November. My mom was pregnant with my sister, and my dad told me he got here in the middle of a snowstorm, and his first winter he wanted to go back. And the reason he did not go back, he said, "Shit, I stay here, my kids are gonna learn Spanish because of the household. That was a strict rule in the house. We couldn't speak anything but our maternal tongue."
Mhm.
And then he goes, where they're gonna learn English and they're gonna learn French. That's 3 languages right there.
Amazing. The three
And
most
for
popular
him, that was one of the factors that he didn't go back, because he wanted to go back, because he was in the airplane. He just told me this story not too long ago. He goes, "I was in the airplane with your mom, and I looked down out the airplane and I go, Sarah, I don't know if everybody here in Canada paint their roof white or there's that snow." You know?
No,
So,
that's no.
yeah.
Warren said we're willing to learn. Well, if you're willing to learn, not an issue.
Exactly.
But I know Josh has something about this one.
Too, huh?
What do you think about this one, Josh?
Dude, man, do your thing, dude. I don't know what you do. You said you want to do it big. I'm a writer. I do my scripts. I do my animation, and I want to make it big. You can make it big throughout the different channels, dude. Forget the Illuminati nonsense, man. I think that's complete and utter nonsense. Maybe there is an Illuminati, but they're not.
Thank you.
I mean, maybe there is one, but
thank you.
The Freemasons, they have their meetings, but they sit there sacrificing goats and all this
Thank you.
Dude, do your thing, man. Caleb, what do? Do you do music, art? I do it all. So you can do, dude, put your stuff on Spotify, put your stuff on Amazon. Don't worry about the proper channels or making it big. You make it big yourself, dude.
That's right.
The worst is not doing anything and then regretting the what can be, right? And now with all this technology, look at, man, respect to all you guys that are doing this, man, because hey, and thank you for having me on the show again, Anzo, man. I'm loving it, man.
Oh, not a problem. Anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome to, brother. That's okay if it's okay with my co-host over here.
Uptown.
I think that's a yes. You know what I mean?
Josh, my American buddy, you're more than welcome to join us every Wednesday night as well.
Man. We have good synergy, man. You know, we
got to get that perspective, you know, because Danny's a little too sensitive when we touch the Americans, you know. And number 2, you're not a police officer.
I'm a DJ at a strip club, man. I'm the exact opposite.
So you want to bash cops with us too?
Yeah, exactly.
No. I do. I respect the good ones, man. You gotta respect.
I
the good
respect
ones.
them too.
Like my boy Danny
You know what?
Graham. Shout out.
When you far outnumber the rest, it's kind of hard to let your shield down to respect one, you know? And I mean that in the most sincere way. I never was, fuck the police unless I was singing an NWA song.
Right.
Because it was fuck you, officer blase blase, because you're a fucking asshole.
Right.
Not all of you. But when it starts becoming blase blase times 45 and 50 in my neighborhood, they're all fucking assholes. I can't take time to find out who's the nice guy.
I had trouble trusting police all the time.
Where? Let me guess. In Cotonesh?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I am telling you, I did not trust them. To this day, I still don't trust them. Like I just don't.
And ain't nothing wrong with that because I can understand that because
I can't because I saw crooked shit in my neighborhood. I saw them parked in Plaza Cotonesh getting envelopes from a guy that was all over the newspaper selling weed or drugs that lived right in between, our street. And they knew where he was, just that they were making money off of it, right? And I saw that and it was like, holy shit, that's crazy, And not only that, there was one time, because my parents owned 2 buildings, right? On Barkley. And one day there was a guy who these El Salvadorian guys that were trying to beat up on the daughter or something. Their parents lived in our building, and the daughter went to the parents' house, and these guys were trying to get the daughter out. And my sister lived on one side, and they they broke a beer bottle, and they were trying to get into the apartment. So my father went down the stairs, and my sister called. They're trying to get in the apartment. So my father went downstairs and started cursing out the guys. He goes, "You and you get the fuck out of my building." Anzo knows my dad. He didn't fuck around when it came to protecting tenants or neighbors or whatever, right? So they started cursing at my dad in Spanish and saying shit to him. My dad kept walking towards the door, and then they continued cursing. And all of a sudden, I just see my dad's head go down, does a 180, starts walking towards one of them. Is, "What did you say?" He grabbed him up with one hand, Tomb Raider style, threw him over the white picket wooden fence of my building, threw the other guy. My sister had called the cops. These guys jumped on my dad. Tom, remember Tom?
Yeah.
Tom came out with a broomstick, broke it over the guy's head. This is a full-out fight outside. You know where the cops were? Parked at the corner of the street.
Oh, yeah?
Doing nothing. My dad had to pick the guys up and said, "You picked the wrong building to come and fuck around in." Walked out, and after they left, the cops drove down. But they were just waiting to see what was going to happen. They were not getting involved in anything. Why? And not only that, my father one day stopped on Mackenzie Street to see a garage sale, right? He got out of this car hit him, rolled over the top. My mom thought he was dead. The car spun off and left. My mom got part of the plate. You know where the car was? Parked at Station 32. It was a police officer that ran over my father.
Oh my God.
Nothing ever happened.
Wow.
That's
the neighbor up. Make the car. My mom had a partial plate. Nothing. They went to the police station. Up. Yeah, man. Nope. Not for me, man. I believe in what they're trying to do and stuff, but officer approaches me.
Their brotherhood is deep and protected, yo.
So,
and I will say this, right? Because I never thought I would ever be friends with a police officer, but I am.
I have a couple of friends.
You know what I mean? Danny is a cool guy. He's on the street.
Yes, he is.
Shout out Danny Graham.
Nothing but respect for him. He's one of those good cops. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying I hate all cops.
No, I know.
I said when it comes to trust, for me to trust the police officer, and I have friends in the States that are cops too, and New York and stuff like that. And listen, it is what it is. Kudos to them. To do a job like that is by
Mhm.
far. Everything they have
Especially
to go
now.
through, everything they have to go through to even become a police officer.
Yep.
At least here, I know
Mhm.
it's gruesome. I know in the States it's different depending what state you're in. Some people are straight out of high school and they have to do what 2 or 3 months and you're a police officer. Not like here and at least I can talk about Montreal where you have to have a college degree and a psychological degree before you can become a police officer. It's more intense
Mhm.
here than it
Mhm.
is in certain parts of the States. But it's just growing up and seeing what I saw. You know, it's just I'll respect the police officer. Always be respectful and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But if listen, I was in a freaking pub with my friend Wendell eating burgers, and a cop came up to me and up to him. He was black, right? And it said, "Can you please come with me?" And I'm like, "What the hell's going on?" He wanted to take him into a lineup
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
downtown,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "No, he isn't
Mhm.
going anywhere." I'm like, our friends are coming. We're waiting to go to Dome, right? It was right at the corner of St. Lawrence and and St. Catherine, right?
Mhm.
And we're like, no, we girls are waiting up on us in an hour, man. Where he isn't going anywhere. And the guy turns around to me and goes, no, you can come too. I'm
Mm.
sure we can find a lineup for you too. And I'm like, what?
Is this uptown again? Because
No, this was downtown.
I got pulled in for a lineup,
This was
Mhm.
downtown. We
and
were at the Bell Pro.
I finished playing basketball at St. Kevin's. I'm walking down Legary. Cops pull up really slow. I know I didn't do anything, so I have no reason to act any other way than what's your problem?
Mhm.
They go to me, where you coming from? I go, I was playing basketball up the street, St. Kevin's there. You know, the cops know of St. Kevin's.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, so if you were up there, then you wouldn't mind being in a lineup, would you? Because
Yeah.
there's no way that you could be involved, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? It's right near my house. I'll do it. Just for you
Whoa.
guys to leave me alone, you know?
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
So I go in this lineup. It's me and 6 guys, and I look nothing like these guys. So I'm like, fuck, it ain't gonna be me. We're standing there. Then they tell 2 guys to step aside. Then those 2 guys leave, and then it's just the 4 of us. I'm like, what? How the fuck am I here? I look nothing like these guys. I'm dressed nothing like these guys. How am I? Am I like the throw off?
Mhm.
My heart was fucking racing,
Dude,
bro.
You're brave to
What are
put
that's
you
a
yourself in that
stupid
lottery.
situation,
motherfucker?
man.
Now you can't even tell people you did this. And
Yeah,
here I
for
am
real.
on the live stream telling everybody, right? It's
No.
called confession. Sure enough, they let me go, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody to
No,
do
man.
it.
People's memories get hazy, man. People's memories get
Mhm.
hazy. Oh, I
Man, I
don't
might have
know.
smoked a lot of weed that day. You know, I was riding high on a good game, felt untouchable. You know, I
Mhm.
don't know
You
what it
learn.
was.
Hey, you learned a
Mhm.
lesson, man. Don't ever just agree. Yeah,
Fuck
don't
no,
ever do
man.
that or agree to let them search your car, man, because you're playing the
Don't be
lottery, man.
gullible and think that the system works
For real.
because you could
Yeah.
fall victim.
For real.
It's
Like
like that's the
me.
guy. Oh no, God.
No, go. Just saying. For
No,
me, one
like
time. Okay, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
I look like the
no,
devil with
but
this
that's the
shit here
guy.
like that, huh?
If you get hit in the head,
My
you get
horns?
hit in the back of your head. It's like fucking like, yep, that's the guy. I don't even know
Mhm.
I couldn't even see him. He ran past me. I got blood in my eyes. I think it's him,
Yeah.
Roberto. Yeah, number 6.
Mhm.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, lock him up.
Yeah. Like it could be as simple
Thank
as
God it
that,
wasn't
man.
fucking Josh on the other side of the glass. There'd be one short tonight.
But you see, even me, like when we were younger, we were it was me, a bunch of my friends, your brother. We were all just chilling in the back on Plamondon. You know, we're just chilling there talking. The Haitian kids were in the backyard playing. Cop car drives by. Vroom, and the back's up. You know the deal. The back's up, right?
Yeah.
And he gets out the car. And as he gets out the car, he must have fucking radioed before he backed up because 5 more came. Whoo, whoo, whoo. So as he gets out, he's just like, you're all under arrest. We're all under arrest. For what? Because a bus driver had got beaten up by a couple of black dudes. So they're like, you're all under arrest, you know? The Haitian cats in the building seen this, ran upstairs and told my dad. My dad flew downstairs so quick, right? By this time, Lito, you know Litos, right? He was there and he was just fuck you, cursing like he was going off on the cops, you know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, like relax because they're gonna fucking take us, you know? So my dad comes downstairs and my dad's like, what the hell's going on? And he's like, oh well, they're all under arrest. My dad's like, for what? He's like, oh, because a bus driver got beat up and blah, blah, blah. My dad was like, well, they were here all this time. You didn't ask anybody in the building. They were here all this time. So they're like, oh, well, my partner's over there, so he can't really ask. And he's like, well, bring your partner over here and ask. But my dad was like, you are not going anywhere with any of these kids, right? So at this point, my dad starts cursing. He's like, fucking, you're not fucking taking these kids, fuck you. And my dad's called a cracker and all this shit. Like, he's going off. My dad, old school black man, you know what I mean? He's going off. So now, as he's going off, Lito sees my dad going off. So he goes and he stands right beside my dad. And now him and my dad are just blasting these cops, cursing them off. Finally, the cops realize, like, they're not the ones, they're not getting them. So they're walking away. You know what I mean? And as the cop was walking away, he's like, oh, your father, he's a good man, you know? And my father heard that. And my father was like, just get the fuck out of here. Leave these fucking kids alone and start cursing them and shit. But, I mean, for me, like I say, within Canada, it's the black thing and it's the French thing. Because we didn't speak French. So that was another issue, too. You know what I mean? If you don't speak French... A lot of
these punk cops got transferred into our neighborhood.
Right.
Thinking that they're going to change everything.
Right.
And I know who the drug dealers are. And I'm going to get fucking promoted here, busting them all. They all got transferred in, transferred out. Transferred in, transferred out. They couldn't handle Uptown, man. Gunshots up there, gunshots down there, gunshots over there. They're fucking running around like chickens. We're smoking weed, laughing at them, run around. Oh, look, there they go. The cops are going the opposite way. You know, it was fucking jokes every night uptown, man.
Remember the dude that he got burned up on the building in on Goye Street? They built this guy on the roof there, right? One time we had a Gates in our building, you know, where they sell drugs and everything, you know? So the cops came and busted it, right? So me, my mom, all the Haitian people were like in the building. We're all just looking out the window or watching, right? Because we know it was Gaia, right? So we know them, you know what I mean? So we see Bandit going into the building. And you could just see, like, I'm on the roof and I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, the Haitian kids are downstairs in their building. So they live on the first floor. So when you're walking in the building, they seen them right away. So they're looking up and they're like, no. So they do a U-turn, right? And go out to leave. But there was a cop waiting in the driveway across the street. So as they were walking out, boom, he came and grabbed them. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, he came and grabbed them. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. You know, these cops, they're up here. If you're black and you don't speak French, then you have 2 strikes against you.
Yeah, I guess
it's crazy.
See, and I want to go busy guy now. I don't know, man. I might just go to Toronto.
Trust me, it's a lot easier than where you are, Josh.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll just go to Toronto. I'll go directly to Toronto. I won't even.
Toronto's worse than Montreal.
Worse.
Toronto is as close to the U.S. than any other province in this country.
That's right. That's right. But you see, the thing is, and I'm proud to say it, like I tell my son, you know, you cops stop, you have respect and everything like that. But I don't have to tell my son that he has to worry about getting killed by them. You know what I mean? And that's a big difference, because you guys in the States, you got to tell your kids, like, yo, be respectful. Don't do no sudden movements. Keep your hands here and that. They're not getting away with murdering us here. I don't think they'll get away.
Parents have anxiety, wondering when if their kid's going to get shot tonight, get pulled over and not comply fast enough and eat 7 bullets. You know, that's some scary shit, man. And to see grown-ass men and women crying of the thought. Didn't even happen to them. They're bawling hysterically, thinking about it. If that ain't anxiety, I don't know what is, man.
For real. I think we've had one, and that was Anthony Griffin. Remember that?
How long ago was that?
30 years ago, because the 30-year anniversary just came up like a day or 2 ago.
Really?
So the 30-year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was our Floyd.
He was our Floyd, basically, right? He was handcuffed. He ran. They shot him in the back, right? But I can't think of anything else after that. Like, I don't know if you guys can, but I can't think of anything else after that. I mean, they'll beat us up, you know what I mean? Arrest us, harass us, you know what I mean? Drape us up, but killing? No.
I leave my offering at the church over here, and then I had seen a cop go by my car, and I'm like, you know what? I already saw him like slow down a little bit. He's going to pull back around. He's going to wonder what I'm doing outside the church. So you know what? I gave my offering. I stood right in front of my car. I waited because I seen him come up slow. It's not like, oh, let me get in my car and run away first.
Yeah.
Like, hi, officer, how's it going? It's like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm just, praying. I didn't even want to tell him I was giving my offering because, I don't want him to know if there's money in there. But because I don't know him from, he could be good, I could be bad. But I just told him, I'm like, yeah, I just saw you here. I waited for you, wanted to touch base with you and communicate. He's like, I respect that. And I'm like, dude, I'm leaving. And that was it. It was fine. But you don't want to run away and you don't want to just leave. If you know that they're coming, hang out there and make sure that they know your presence. You know what I mean?
And you don't want to say that famous line, because I'm black. Because you know no good is coming out of that statement, right?
Oh, no.
Because I used to say it all the time when I was angry. And that would usually keep me there for about an hour and a half longer than I had to be.
Absolutely.
I didn't get shot. I didn't feel threatened for my life at any point. I even called him a cocksucker. I don't know if I could say that, but I called the cop that, and nothing came of it. I really don't think that's possible in the U.S., in any fucking state, any county,
I agree.
any whatever you want to borough, anywhere.
I agree.
I was in Miami looking for weed like a fucking idiot on the beach, right? And I'm about, this is Dade County. This ain't really a good spot. Not too many people speak English just to start. And I thought I was in the U.S. But aside from that, are we frozen?
No, go ahead.
I was walking up on this guy on a bike, and I noticed he had a Mickey, so I figured for sure this guy knows where to get weed. But the cop made it to him before I did, thank God.
Shit.
I heard the cop tell the guy to put his bottle down, but the guy didn't hear him. So he tried to ask the cop, pardon me? This guy was twisted in some positions by two. I don't even know where that second cop came from. But this guy was pretzeled on the floor, begging for them to get off of him because he was in excruciating pain. They took him away because he didn't comply fast enough. Could you believe that?
Though, right? He was
white.
He was white. There you
He
go.
was white. I was in shock. I said, fucking, I ain't smoking this vacation. That was a reality check, man.
I hate to say it, but if I walk by, like if I'm walking and I see the cops like stopping a white person or doing something, I say, well, he's not a black dude. And I keep walking. You know what I mean?
It's really sad to say.
It is.
That you have to say, if it happens to them, maybe they'll realize. That's fucking sad, man.
I agree.
Because it does happen to them too, huh?
Yeah,
not on the same scale, but it happens to them too.
Absolutely. You travel a lot, Roberto, man. You've been to Florida, you've been to Philly, you've been all over. I got to take my one trip, man, to Canada.
Philly was the scariest. I've been to not very many places in the States, but Philly was the scariest. Fucking scary. I honestly say I was scared. I was fucking scared. Chicago, I believe you. Chicago, you hear about it. Philly, I had no clue. I knew about Dr. J, Philly subs. That's all I was going. I thought it was fucking liberty. Everybody's happy. No way, Jose.
Try going after the game, man, after the Phillies/Eagles game, dude. You see what they do, man. You see what they do, dude, tearing down the city. It's like they won. They won the Super Bowl and they're tearing down their city. It's like, burn it down, burn it down.
We do that here too. It's just called taking advantage of a situation.
Right.
But yeah, I've been nervous. I've been cautious. I can't say I've been scared very many times where I didn't know what what to do because there was really no way out. I was on a street where the cops were like, let's just say we're chilling on, I'm going to give these guys a perspective and then maybe I'll explain to you, Josh. Let's just say we're chilling on Victoria and Barclay, and the cops are down by Jean Talon and Victoria. And you're like, why aren't they coming here? Why don't they pass by here? Why are they staying all the way down there? And they explain to you, oh, they'll never come up here. They'll never come up here. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why are we here if they'll never come up here? I see cars driving by with 5% tint, their window cracked this much, you can't see shit, and they're slowing down by us. Now, am I stereotyping? Did I see too many fucking gangster movies? Or do I believe this could happen anywhere? I believe this could happen anywhere. So my heartbeat, there was a Fitbit or some kind of monitor. I was near breaking point several times just standing on a corner. To end this story short, I used to like watching cops back in the day. A lot of Canadians did because our police force would put us to sleep compared to what goes on over there, right?
Yeah.
So sure enough, it's in Philly. And why I recognize that area is because this street where the cops were chilling, this street is so wide that cars park in the middle of it. Anzo, could you believe that? It's like cars parking in the middle of Sherbrooke.
Yeah,
so there's cars on the left of you, the right of you, and in the middle. That's how wide the street is. I'm watching this episode and I'm telling Jose, hey, bro, I was there. Bro, I was there. and there was a shooting. So now there's a shooting and 5 minutes have gone by, but the cops are still on the street huddling up like it's a football huddle before they break and do their play. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? It's like 5 minutes. This guy shot 3 times. Break. They all go. They're flying down like the presidents in that truck. 6 cars in front, 6 cars in back. They pull up to this place. They all jump out. Hut, 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 hut. They run in there. They pick this guy up. No gurney, no brace, no nothing. One guy in each leg and arm. They pick him up. They run downstairs. They throw him in that truck. They drive back to that street. There's an ambulance waiting. They take care of him there. Why was I in that area?
Because you're Canadian and I had no fucking idea.
Man, was I pissed at the girl that brought me there? Oh, fuck. Yeah. It was quite the experience, but my heart did not deserve that. And I didn't let anybody see Canada shitting in his pants.
Yeah, that's called Canadian pride right there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I play hockey.
So we're going to wrap it up just now. There's a question here for Flash, from Flash for you, Roberto. I know it's not square one, but if you want to answer it, you can go ahead. He says, Roberto, before the stream ends, I would like to ask, should the Redskins tank and take Trevor Lawrence?
It's not going to happen. You're not going to take him from the Jets. The Jets win the lottery.
Even if they did flash, this organization would ruin him. Snyder, Rivera, nothing's changed. We've changed coaches 5 times, and I'm watching the same football every season. I can't fucking take it, man. I am in all kinds of...
Roberto, hold it down. I froze. I'll be right back.
Cool. I'm in all kinds of Washington Redskin groups on Facebook, and I'm starting to feel like I'm in the Dallas Cowboys fan. Oh, everybody's frozen?
I'm not.
Well, I know.
That's right, guys.
I know it's your.
I'm in, man. I don't know what type of freaking internet y'all got. No. But shit. Get your shit together, people.
Yeah. I know it's your question though, Roberto, but I mean, I'm going to help you with that too. I don't think you guys are playing that terribly, and I think you're still in the hunt for the division. You know what I mean? So
doesn't say much about our division.
Well, I mean, like we're in the division,
and we're 2-5.
We had this big discussion about you guys.
Yes, we did.
How about how I said you shouldn't even be in the hunt for the division? I
Yes,
said
because this has happened several times in football from division to division.
So enjoy it, man. If you get it, enjoy it. If you get your
But
division,
I don't want to win
don't
it.
worry about Trevor.
I don't
Lawrence.
want to win the division. I don't want to make the playoffs because we'd be a joke anyways. But as long as we have this guy Snyder as an owner of our team, it's going to be fucking horrible.
Mad Mama Bear said the stuff y'all go through to get some. Yeah, if you only knew.
Especially back then.
Yeah, if you only knew. And there was one more question that someone asked that I wanted to ask.
We missed a lot of questions if I saw correctly. I don't have my glasses, so
yeah,
a lot of
did.
times you see me doing this shit because I'm trying to read it, but it looks like there was a lot.
Yeah, I did. I kind of skipped the chat. I'll do better next time. But one of them was about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman will be coming out on HBO Max on Christmas Day, and in theaters. And I mean, I want to see the movie, but if we're talking about them making money off it, they're not going to do it. So, I mean, I guess they're just bringing it out for us to watch. But at the end of the day, hey man, it is.
What'd you say? Wonder Woman?
Yeah, the new Wonder Woman 80 is coming out on HBO Max. I mean, we don't even get HBO Max up here anyway. So, I mean, I'm going to have to.
Well, what? Right after Aquaman 3?
Aquaman 2, yeah, that's supposed
what
to come out
movie?
too.
Oh, you mean there is a 2? I was just making jokes, man.
Yeah, there is.
One was so shit. Why would you make 2? I'm sorry.
Aquaman I hate it. Aquaman was garbage, but
it made $1 billion. That's why, though.
Because they like that guy. It's all the women that went to see him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, so it's coming out on HBO Max, and I mean, at this point, they're just trying to really make back some money because all these companies, because of the pandemic, are losing like constantly every day. Movie theaters losing money. You know what I mean? Movie studios are moving money. So they're just trying to
HBO Max?
It's like Disney Plus and Netflix.
But you have Disney Plus?
I do.
I had it. I got rid of it.
I don't blame you because I kept it because I was waiting for the Marvel stuff to come out. Never came out, but I'm watching Mandalorian. So
I download things. I'm gonna keep it 100. I download every now and then. If I can't get it, I download it.
If I
know what I mean.
I download. Yeah, I'll do the same thing, bro. Don't worry about that. That's what an Android box is for. Wrapping it up. Okay, just want to say this was a great time at Big Before Entertainment. Keep going. And the peeps you in the chat was epic. I love you all.
Respect, Warren.
Looking out for next time. Much appreciated.
Man, appreciate it.
Damn right. Jason,
we've been out of hiatus for a while, but it really feels good to be back, man. I really love this show because it's the truth, man.
Yep.
That's what fucking fiction here.
That's what I said. I like doing my comic book stuff and the pop culture stuff, but at the end of the day, that's not all me. Like, you know what I mean? I like to do this real shit every now and then, not just for to teach people. You know what I mean? So people can
hear
understand
other people's perspectives to know you're not alone.
Exactly.
Because some of our shows before was on bullying. It was on real sensitive matters. I wish we could have got your guys' perspective on that, but you know, at that time it was just me and Onzo, and we opened up a lot. We did a lot of shit that your typical black people won't do.
Absolutely.
You know, and Danny could attest to that. Danny was shocked, but that's what we want the show to be. Just, you know, no degrees, no specialties, just sharing your opinion. If you fuck up on a word or you fuck up on the spelling, nobody will judge you. We appreciate anything you have to say with us or share with us.
Absolutely. Awesome. I agree. Great, and we will definitely continue doing this because I did miss doing the show, to be honest with you. But we're back now. So, you know, Mama Bear said Wonder Woman will be rated R for me. And she said, I'm sorry I missed it. It's okay, Mads. Just remember.
Mads, I missed you because we haven't seen you in a minute.
And we'll be back
now. Mads Mardigan's girlfriend or whatever?
No. It's Mads she has her own channel and everything.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
She's real. She's real.
Yeah, could definitely sub to her. The guy that looks reminds me of Logic. I hope you're coming back with your Autobots logo t-shirt.
Oh, man.
You know, it's funny because I was just like this all day, and my wife comes up to me. She goes, that's what you're wearing? And I'm like, what, you want me to wear a suit?
Or
We're the new gen, man. Keeping it real.
That's
Absolutely.
what we do. And guys, knows we growing up, man. Transformers and all that shit.
Yo,
And
you
don't
can't
think you escape, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Tell the
You
story.
told me. Tell the story. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell the story.
Listen, guys, you have to listen to this, okay? Because I think that this emotionally scarred him. Emotionally scarred him, and honestly, I apologize for all the hurt that I caused him because of this. But go ahead, tell the story.
So, as you guys know, I have a history. This guy is my first best friend. You know what I mean? So, I can't remember how old I was, but we had a lot of Star Wars toys and everything. He came to my house, and I was sick. Right? I had a cold and shit. I was sick. We were playing Star Wars, and he left. And when he left, I was like, "Where's my Han Solo gun? Like, what the hell? What happened to this Han Solo gun? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this?" So I'm looking for this gun. I'm looking for this gun, and I don't remember how, but I think I went to his house, and I was like, "This looks like my Han Solo gun," which it was, except for the fact that he chewed the shit up so it wouldn't look like the fucking gun.
That's creative. Respect.
Dude, man. So wait, you don't remember how you got it back, though?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's the part you're missing.
So
what happened? What happened is he confronted me. You got my gun. I'm like, no, I don't. And I did, right? And I still don't know to this day why the fuck I did that, honestly. And so I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna tell me. Cause yeah, he goes, I'm gonna tell your mom, and I know you have it. And I'm like, no, I don't. So his mom spoke with my mom, right? Apparently, there's something about the gun, and my mom questioned. My mom drilled.
Oh yes.
My mom drilled me. She's like, you shouldn't steal from your friends. It's something do. And I'm like, and I started feeling guilty. So I'm like, how do I give it back without saying I did it? So I slipped it in the mailbox.
Okay.
And I put it in the mailbox. And then I remember your mom. I came home at the same time your mom was opening the mail, and you're like, is this your Han Solo gun? And I'm like, and you're like, Krishka, you chewed it and put it in my damn mailbox.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, it was terrible.
Yeah,
That's like the worst shit we ever did to each other. But you know what?
We're getting all kinds of respect, eh?
Absolutely.
Growing up where we did, it was funny because no matter what shit, we always had our backs, no matter what. And I remember when those people that would come out of town, family visiting from Nova Scotia or whatever, and they would pick on me because I was the only white guy, right? Especially with glasses. And I remember one time Anzo was there and Junior was there, right? And this guy was bothering, and both of you are like, listen, don't leave him alone. Leave him alone. And then they kept pushing me. And the thing is, when my glasses would flow off my head, I would lose my shit, and I beat the crap out of this kid. And then the guy goes, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And he goes, I don't know whether it was you or Junior or Travis. He goes, you don't understand. If he goes home with broken glasses, you don't know the beating he's gonna get. So when my glasses flew, if I'm going down, boy, I'm taking your ass down with me.
Let me ask you this. Remember when we put the chair on fire?
Oh my God, the sofa behind the building. Oh my God. Whoever known polyester could catch fire so fast.
Oh my God. That thing lit up, and we took off. Boom! Ran in the house. He went to his house. I went to my house.
Hold on. Could I ask you guys a question? Was that a couch that you burnt on the fence in between Barclay and Plomadon?
Yes.
This is outside, right?
No. It wasn't between.
It was between our buildings.
Barrette.
No,
okay.
Bouchette.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That thing lit up so fast. I still remember going with the matches, and it just went. We just looked at each other.
And
we didn't even speak. We knew the plan. It was like, your house, my house. We've never been here.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Fire trucks came and everything and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro.
That thing went up. Like, all right, put it out.
Yeah,
that was even the time. That was the time we got that bag of Playboy magazines from Richard's house. That was the same time. We're like, "What's all this in the garbage bag?" We're like,
"Oh yeah, I remember."
Thank God we didn't have access to the internet at
I
a
know,
young
no
age.
Pornhub,
know.
man.
This world would not be the same today.
I know,
No
absolutely.
Corrupt like a
Crazy.
motherfucker.
Crazy.
These guys could just type in 3 or 4 words and they have porn for
Seriously.
days. I had to wait for that fucking Sears catalog to come
Yep.
so I could stare in the bra
Yeah,
section. You know?
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle because I used to have to watch the Spice Channel as like a negative. It would like be all blurry. and
Yeah,
stuff.
blurry.
So I didn't have.
Everybody had that channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
But,
ours called? Something in French?
We had First Choice. And
No, but there was something on the French
Bleu
channel.
Nuit, Bleu Nuit.
Oh, Blue
Bleu
Nuit.
Nuit. Yeah, everybody knows Bleu Nuit.
Yeah.
I think I see it. I think I see it. I think I. Oh yeah, I think I see it.
And the one
Craziest
show
shit.
that everyone talked about was Emmanuel
Yeah,
on Blue
Emmanuel.
Nuit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, like what, 5 or 6 of them or more than that?
Yep.
Manuel.
Yeah.
Look it up.
French
Yeah.
Canadian porn.
Emmanuel. Yeah.
She was taking the dick all the time. Every episode, it was like, "Yo, let's watch Emmanuel," and it would come on like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're
That's
like
why the brothers were
16
running
years
to
old.
Sheen and Bill St. Pierre and all these French areas.
Yeah. We wanted to get them French girls, boy. Trust me.
Well, that's one way of learning French, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what? In all honesty, I know we're ending this show, but I learned my French through hockey and dating French girls. It was not learned in school.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you wanted to get far in hockey, you had to speak French. And if you wanted the sweeter looking French girls, you had to speak French.
Absolutely. Ghostfire said, "What's the name of y'all channels?"
Mine is coming soon.
We'll get to that at the end for sure. Matt said, "Miss y'all too. Love the show. We appreciate it." Warren said, I love you, Autobot guys."
Wow, man. Bad love, crazy.
I love you, Autobot
right,
guy. Keep it up, guys. Logic 2.0. Onzo shot first. I always shoot first. I always shoot first. Except for when I'm, then I let her shoot first, then I shoot next.
Here we go.
And Warren said, "Let's give some love to all 4 guys. If you're happy to attend, love you all, Enzo and the boys. Appreciate it."
Respect.
Yeah. Onzo, I have to go. Love your work. And the guys, till next time, bro. Peace out, Warren. We'll be back next week for another episode. And like I said, if you guys want to come in, you're definitely welcome. Maybe Danny might be able to come in on that day too. So once again, I appreciate it. Josh, tell the people about your channel one last time before you go.
Yeah, Movie Aficionados, our group. I hope my internet's not cutting out.
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Yeah, so Movie Aficionados group on Facebook. If you guys are, Mads Mama Bear and everybody, if you guys are content creators, put your stuff in Movie Aficionados. If you do reviews or news, same thing with Gaming Aficionados. That's the other channel group on Facebook. Put your live streams, put your stuff in there. I'm actually going to keep sharing Onzo's stuff too. I know he's been doing live stream gaming, so I'll do the same for you if you want to put your stuff there.
Absolutely, guys. You can tell the people what you have planned coming up for you and your channel.
Right now, I'm just, honestly trying to get things off the ground slowly. Hopefully, I can come back next week on your show and ride the coattails of this amazing show of true facts, real people, real issues, real problems. It's good to see that we can talk about anything, keep that going. But definitely.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Like I said, you're definitely welcome. Roberto, you can tell the people about yourself, even though we still got to get your channel up and running.
Well, the show that I want to do, basically, because my little bio is that ever since I'm very young, I've been very curious and full of questions. I don't always get the answers to my questions, be it some of them are legit or not, but my show is going to be more related to what's normal, or basically what is the new normal.
Yeah.
And again, it's hitting many different topics and subjects, but more or less to get an opinion from a lot of people to know what the norm is. Because to me, the norm is based on a majority. If majority of the people see red as green, then we can convince those minorities that red is green eventually. So this is the purpose of the show I want to do, is to see how many people are on my wavelength and what other people are thinking as well on specific topics.
Excellent.
Cool.
Nice.
So
I'm gonna
definitely
be
look out for
picking and
that.
picking and picking.
And we'll definitely get your channel started with that. Anytime
Respect.
you want to come
Appreciate
check
it.
me, bro, I'll help you out in that.
Just make sure you have
Alright.
some sativa, and I'll stay awake long enough to finish it.
I'm not wasting my money on no sativa, bro. Not doing it.
I hear you. That's why I haven't made my way there yet. You gave me that little gift surprise. Knocked me out, maybe missed the show for 2 weeks.
I remember.
Oh, shit.
But with that being said, okay, so Matt said give him the link to my channel. Did you find
Yeah,
her
I'm gonna-
channel though?
No, but I'm actually gonna put my my link in here in the chat
Okay.
for everybody.
And Matt, I actually friended you on Facebook as well. So if you didn't see it, check it out. You might see my friend request there, and then I can just direct you right over to his group and everything.
Awesome.
You know. Flash said, "Kidding, Roberto. Can't wait to see your channel."
Respect, Flash. Are you a Redskins fan, Flash? I need to know.
God, I
Or
hope
you-
not. We don't need no more of you guys.
Come on, there's not even enough of us to hate that, man. We can't be hated, Anzo.
Okay,
Dallas
Matt.
is there.
Yeah, I know.
Shout
Matt said
out
she accepted
Patriots
it.
fans
Okay, so
in
great.
the chat.
Am I live streaming Tekken? I'm supposed to go and play Rob on some Tekken, so we'll see how that goes out.
Put it in the gaming aficionados, man.
I will.
Yeah.
I know. My granddad is trying to convert me to.
I know it must be really hard right now. But back in the day when I became a Redskins fan, you would have jumped on that wagon quick because we actually meant something, you know?
You were good. You were good. You guys made.
We were really good. In the
Mhm.
80s, we were really good. We were
I agree.
really good.
I
It's a
agree.
long time, man. Long time.
Longer than the Bears?
Long.
What's
Sorry?
that?
Longer than the Bears? Yeah, longer than the Bears too.
Yeah, we're worse
Mhm.
than the Bears. I can almost say we're worse than the Jets, man.
Shout out
Well-
New England Patriots Nation. Shout out New England Patriots Nation.
Oh, you're lucky I don't Phantom Zone on this channel.
Thank you for mentioning that, Josh.
What's
I
that?
looked on my pick sheet, and I don't see that game. Who did New England beat again?
The Ravens, Baltimore.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
had Ravens. I didn't put who they were playing.
Yeah,
That hurt.
I know. That was horrible. Lucky.
But what about them Dolphins? Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know my family in Florida is not happy about that.
Yeah,
Looking
tonight
forward to
goes
Saturday,
fire.
man. Looking forward to Saturday.
I'm a Panthers fan, blue all day. Okay, Panthers are doing all right. With that, yeah.
I think Bridgewater's hurt now. I don't even know who your backup is. What's his name is hurt. Your stud is hurt again. What's his name?
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's
Mhm.
hurt again. I don't know
So-
who's in worse shape, man. You or Chicago.
Somebody put the draft, the NBA draft this tonight. I missed it, so I guess I got to go back and watch it, I think. I was watching the
yeah.
draft.
Warren, I'm in Montreal, man, but Montreal's not far from Toronto, man. But yeah,
6 hours.
anytime. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not a problem. We can definitely meet up. With that being said, guys, we are going to close it out. I will just say I appreciate all you guys on the panel that came through. I appreciate everybody in the chat that comes and checks out my channel. You know what I mean? Like I said at the beginning, when I started, it's like, who's going to watch me? Few people do. I appreciate it. All the support. Much respect. But with that being said, say peace, guys, because we are out.
Peace.
Gotta get this right. Here we go.